Hey everybody, welcome to Meta Monday. Woohoo! The Metapocalypse continues. I am your host, and tonight's GM, James Durham. Joining me at the table, I have Chris Odie, Jess Weaver, and Sarah Sanders Odie. Unfortunately, a couple of people couldn't be with us today, but that's okay. We hope that they heal up and feel better soon.
Oh, we have some sound copy. I know. You're cute, even when you work with us.
Working on the echo, guys. 1 second.
Hold.
How's that? Working on the echo, guys.
No.
Nope, still here.
Something's on and playing.
How's that?
Is the TV just turning the volume?
Nope, still here. No, it's our speaker that does the store announcements. No, it's our speaker that does the store announcements.
It's so weird.
Yeah, I gotta figure it out.
Can they hear the echo?
Did that fix it?
Oh, yes. Oh?
Hello?
Hello, hello, hello.
Yes.
I don't hear myself
Good job!
anymore.
Yay, thank you!
Yay.
I wonder if they can still hear us.
Can you still hear us? Okay, good.
Is it good? Okay, I hope they can hear us.
Nerd.
All right.
I'm a giant nerd.
It has begun. That's right. Our team of big damn heroes has gotten even bigger. Joined together with the assistance of Tom, can our heroes stop the unknown threat to the Metaverse before it's too late? Masters of the Metaverse, like all of our Zoe programming, is brought to you entirely by viewers like you. We wouldn't exist without you. Check out our Patreon page now and find out how you can support this show and other great shows like it, like Death from Above on Saturdays, or our Zoe Game Night on Thursdays. And I also want to give a shout out to some of our friends and partner shows, like Table Tits Fridays at 11. We broadcast that here. We really do. Oh, look at those fingers. That's somebody really important. He should actually be doing the announcements.
No.
I'm
I'm going to be coughing my way through the show tonight. So.
Oh, that's so terrible. I'm so sorry. And some other people, Dragons and Things, brought to you by the people from Walking in Circles. They happen to be partnered with Paizo, and they play Pathfinder pretty dang well.
All right.
And speaking of shout-outs, I want to give some special thanks to some of our amazing Patreon backers.
Hey.
Yeah, you do.
Jeremy Huber, thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Joel Dietz, thank you.
Thank you, Joel.
My boy.
And Jason Straw, thank you.
It's the J Squad.
I love all those names.
Yeah.
You guys could be like
JJJ.
you could be a boy band.
Ooh.
Who says they're not?
I know, they could be a boy band.
See, we just don't know.
Maybe they are. Yeah, that's true, actually. We have no proof to the contrary.
Exactly. Assume everyone is in a boy band until you know otherwise.
That's a safe assumption.
One of my 12-year-olds today was like, Miss Sanders, is it okay that I want to be in a band? I'm like, yeah, why not? He's like, my friend thinks it's dumb. I was like, well, your friend's dumb. Be in a band if you want to be in a band.
It's
the end of the year.
To be like, my mom said it.
Well, it's the end of the year. Miss Sanders,
In addition, that there are some wonderful pre-show purchases in our store I've already been bought. I'm not sure if they're going to play, and if they don't, I will make sure to thank those people individually. But I think that they might get called out here
Holy
towards the beginning.
smokes.
Yeah, you can see there's a little bit of stuff there in the store already, guys.
Wow, thanks, guys.
Now, the Meta Meltdown is from last week, as is your buff, Maddox, but the 7 meta points.
My buff from last week?
Or not last week, sorry, your last time you
Oh,
ran.
okay, I was going to say I wasn't even here. That's
They were
amazing.
waiting for you.
We roll them over if they don't get burned up. So.
Oh, okay. I will
Wanted
use
to
it,
keep
but
that
that's
one
way
around.
They have
possible.
for you.
Yeah, we don't want to
Gotta
take
love
away.
that for you.
When they do something so nice for you like that, I can't just take it away because you didn't use it. We got to wait until you get a chance
No,
to
and
use it.
I will use
It's
it
your present.
in a magnificent way.
We can only hope.
you're like, oh, sure, hopefully.
Which, that store is how you can affect this show every single week. And we got a lot of fun stuff in there. And some of you might notice that the loot box is back today.
Oh, yay!
Yep, the loot box is back.
I've only played with that like one time.
I
The
only
loot
play with it
box
once and it
is
scares me
back.
because that's when I think I got a ticket that day.
You did get a ticket that day.
That
Have
is
you had a
so.
loot box
That
yet?
is so.
I don't think I had a loot box, but I got a ticket for using a power. Some guy whose name I forget came and
Ronan?
Rhodes.
Rhodes.
He told me that I'd broken some law and gave me a ticket and then went
Oh,
away.
because what's his name was, yes, I get that.
Yeah,
If that was
yeah.
that episode.
Oh.
You should open a loot box. They're fun.
Actually, I got thinking about a way to really screw over Rhodes if he did that again.
Oh,
So,
good. We'll
yeah.
wait for him then.
Excellent. Hey, and speaking of that, besides the store, we have these wonderful things where these polls that you guys get to vote every week and pick somebody that you like more than me, because I always know it's going to be more than me.
I put you at the
whoever it
top
is.
of the polls, though.
Yeah, that doesn't do any good.
I try to help you out.
You mean
maybe
listed
try the
first?
bottom. Judging by these results compared to other results, put me at the bottom next
Okay.
time. Hopefully that has something to do with it because, wow, these were some impressive results. Speaking of, let's do those.
All right.
Chris,
Yes.
you get +8
Booyah.
to a roll this week and +10 hit points.
Nice.
Sarah,
Yeah?
you get +5 to a roll.
Okay.
and +10
Excellent.
hit
Thank you.
points.
Thank you, Chet.
Jess, you get +6 to a roll and +30 hit points.
Excellent.
Wow, thank you.
And I get +1 and 10 hit points.
Can we
I'm
claim?
sorry. I'm sorry. What was that?
Can we claim anything that was supposed to go to Vanessa for the?
I already did.
Okay.
Oh, solid.
And I didn't claim them for myself, which,
Oh,
you know,
there you go.
I really should have, but
Proof.
Before
could
we get
probably
totally
pull it up,
underway, can I make one quick announcement?
you
Is
can
that-
make all kinds of announcements,
Really,
but
really fast one?
absolutely.
No announcements.
I'll wait until Mark tells me that I'm on
You're
camera.
on, darling.
I'm on?
You're right
awesome.
there.
So, folks, one, I want to apologize for any and all coughing that I do tonight. It is solely my fault. These fine people have nothing to do with it, but that makes sense. No, wanted to make sure that people knew if you are heading down to Mobile Comic-Con this coming weekend,
Because everybody is.
that we will have a group heading out to there. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do a Gamers Live show, run a couple of the Demon Hunters RPG, a comedy of terrors, and also do... we'll have the table.
The pub
We'll
crawl.
be doing some screenings. We don't know what we're going to screen yet because I have not been asked for anything specific from them. So I'm just going to throw discs and see what works. And
I vote Attack into Darkness.
that would be cool. Yeah, that'll go over great in Mobile. But so that is coming up. Mark is giggling like a madman over on the side. That's fantastic. Yeah, I'll explain Attack in the Darkness during the credits.
Gotcha, thank you.
So, oofta. So that is coming up. Additionally, Lauren's amazing.
She's so good.
Additionally, for those of you who are going to be hitting Gen Con, know that event registration for that started this past Sunday. But also, even if you're not going to that, I'm begging you here, folks. Please, if you see us tweet anything about Gen Con, please go ahead and boost that signal. We were so fortunate this past Sunday. We sold out of all of our premium tickets for the Friday night Gamers Live show there.
Regular tickets are still
and
good.
we still have regular tickets, but we have not sold the premium tickets out for a few years. So that was amazing to do it in about an 11-hour period.
Yeah.
And we're looking really good for Saturday as well. But it is just so helpful. And honestly, we are one of the few companies who comes out of that convention in the black. And the more in the black we can be, the easier it is for us to do other stuff and use some of those funds to offset other projects and experimentations. I'm really glad Christian's not here for that line right there.
Why?
I don't know. It just made me think of like drugs.
Ah.
Anywho, that's all I had to say.
Somebody clip that because Chris Odie thinking of drugs has probably never happened
It's
before.
a new GIF. I'm so happy. Oh, and great, Christian and Maggie are in
chat. Yes.
I'm just gonna leave now.
We still heard it.
Fantastic. I just thought he'd make a joke if I said it, but yeah. Anywho,
Oh, of course he would.
He never makes jokes. I don't know what you're talking about.
No.
He's very straight-laced.
I make him think of drugs. Yes, Christian, you make me think of anxiety medications that I should take.
#clarity. So happy it's Monday.
Thank you, Westy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. I also want to take a minute here and I want to thank our amazing mods, Pax, AK. Thank you guys both so much. You take so many burdens off of my shoulders so
Yeah.
that I don't have to do it, and I really, really appreciate that. And also, Mark and Leo, she's not here, but Mark, who's back there today, does so much. Again, without them, there would not be shows. I mean, I can turn on some of the things back there, but I couldn't tell you how they work.
I could press buttons, but
I just ship
who
them
knows
from place
what
to
would
place.
happen?
We don't know if we're sending streams to Guam. I don't know.
But hey, how about we roll some credits?
I used the credit card.
Conscripted by a secret organization, a group of strangers is loaded into experimental metapods, hurtling their souls across dimensions and into unsuspecting avatars. With each trip across reality, these newly minted metapilots gain access to unique powers and abilities, slowly transforming them into true Masters of the Metaverse.
Masters of the Metaverse, Masters of the Metaverse. They travel through time and space and stuff. Troll them, re-roll them, throw them above. They fly through dimensions, this isn't a bluff. Heroes compelled, they have no choice. Bound by the winds of a secret voice. Masters of the Metaverse, Masters of the Metaverse. Masters of the Metaverse, Masters of the Metaverse.
Welcome back!
I think.
Do we have one here?
I might from the stuff that Gail brought back.
Oh, maybe.
I'll have to check.
It's a possibility.
When we last saw our metapilots, the abandoned medical facility that they were using was attacked, though by the program project or founders was anyone's guess. At the conclusion of the battle, while preparing to depart the facility and tending to the wounded, Ronald Gabriel Zenda woke from his coma. Except it wasn't Zenda. Some terrible malfunction occurred when he was forcefully removed from the metaverse, resulting in Iron Jack Kershaw ending up in Zenda's body.
Well, poop.
And Zenda, well, that's anyone's guess. But at least old Iron Jack isn't alone in there, as Zenda apparently already had another passenger, one Captain Jack Rackham. After the attack, Tom provided the location to an abandoned military facility to use as a temporary base of operations, hopefully avoiding any more intrusions. Without Zenda to complete the special metapod, however, the project could not be finished. While Tom attempts to locate Zenda's soul, he has sent the pilots into Earth 668, the metaverse of Sentinel City. It is in this world that Tom believes the threat to the metaverse is located, and according to his recent findings. Together, Tom believes there is nothing that you cannot achieve. Previously, Hex Destiny and the Council of Sentinel City worked brilliantly together to thwart what was clearly a targeted attack on Sentinel City, using both terrible weather and plummeting debris from orbit. After succeeding, Hex felt the telepathic pull of her grandfather Balthazar and rushed to his aid in Atlantis, where a massive tidal wave was bearing down upon the city. It was here that they were joined by the newly resurrected Thomas Wells and the avatar of Cicero the Atlantean, titles withheld on purpose. Maddox McFernan as Skinwalker, the amnesiac shape-changer, and a mind-wiped Butch Baker. After some outside assistance returned Butch's memories and the tidal wave was thwarted, our heroes ventured towards the spire in Iceland to confront the source of these unnatural disasters. It was here that they faced an empowered and hostile Riptide, attacking with the trident of Poseidon and unchecked ferocity. With incredible teamwork, they disarmed, defeated, and sent Riptide off to places unknown before destroying the first of the great spires with the aid of the Titan Force. Fast forward. After returning to Sentinel City, bringing the Atlantean Cicero, who also happens to currently be in the possession of the Trident of Poseidon, our combined force of heroes and pilots shared their findings and information. Working together, Hex and Balthazar found a way to counter the repulsion fields of the remaining spires using a powerful ritual magic from the source, the spire in St. Petersburg, Russia. But with 3 towers still standing, even then the magic was thought to be too strong. After much consideration, these masters of magic concluded that to ensure the ritual will work, that the spire in Japan must first come down. With a plan set in motion, Cicero, Bombshell, and Skinwalker are en route to Egypt to assault the spire there, while Butch, Abby, Hex, Ezekiel, and Balthazar head to St. Petersburg by way of Tokyo. Once the spires have been taken down, the plan is to rendezvous in Rome and plan the final assault on Kronos. Maddox, returning to Sentinel City, brought a jumble of emotions from Skinwalker, mostly confusion and resentment. Spending so long convinced that they were Bob Baker has not been without side effects. Then there was all that weirdness with the spire, the way its defenses seemed to ignore you until you attacked them. It's unnerving to say the least. Coupled with a complete lack of even knowing who or what Skinwalker is, makes for a very uncomfortable psychological state. Needless to say, you've had to take the lead since the return. Reuniting with your old friends has been a much needed point of happiness. So many of you here together, Dr. Clarkson, Aquamarine, Thomas, Crash, Rosie, Wyatt, Andy, and Brony. And when you were all together, you could almost feel the energy, the power of the room. When you all split up to enact the plan, you were glad no one mentioned the elephant in the room. You were glad no one acted like any of them might not make it back. It's easier that way, you know from experience. And where's Tom been? No one has heard from him in several weeks that you've been in this metaverse, and that's not a good sign. Thomas, Cicero was less than impressed with the architecture and efficiency of Sentinel City. But his disbelief at seeing so many superpowered beings could not be repressed with even all of his stoicism. Nearly 1 million superpowered people. It is both amazing and terrifying. So much unchecked power coupled with so many emotional beings. It's a bomb just waiting to go off. How they haven't managed to kill themselves off yet is a mystery. You've been feeling something off since you came back. At first you couldn't really put your finger on it, but now you feel like there really is something there, whatever it is, something different.
Yes, I think we established it was one of my lobes coming out of my nose.
It feels like there's someone looking over your shoulder, except there isn't, but you can never shake the feeling. And then there's this trident. Somehow it just feels right in your hands. Perhaps you, Primarch Cicero, should lead Atlantis. You are clearly the most qualified. You're not quite sure what this thing is capable of, but you can feel the power coursing through it and into your body when you hold the weapon. You have utilized Cicero's most generously provided Atlantean aircraft for the trip to what was once Egypt. Its technology is vastly superior to Armor Guy's Octojet. With the spire in Iceland destroyed and the weather returned to normal, it was a rather uneventful journey to reach the African coastline. Dr. Clarkson, you've kept yourself extremely busy in the intervening time between the disasters and the decision to assault the spires. There's always something to do in Sentinel City, and Bombshell is in dire need of distractions.
What?
Despite the pristine exterior, the knowledge of who and what she is and what she comes from has taken its toll. Her machine mentality, normally so perfect, has become a jumble of unanswered questions and hypothesizing. She is displaying enough other symptoms that the psychologist in you realizes just how serious it is. And it only got worse when the spire in Iceland fell. One by one, all of your nano-wasp scouts all around the globe just gone, faded away. Even the one you left to watch Citron. A rather foreboding event, to say the least. Cruising at just over 2,000 feet above the African continent in the Atlantean ship, it's extremely comfortable. The force propulsion engines and the force bubble cockpit provide a very smooth, turbulence-free ride with views in all directions, including below you, being completely clear. It is a great way to travel.
It's pretty cool.
It is an amazing view, and all you can see in the entirety of the distance in front of you is a massive sandstorm. The sensor readings indicate it covers nearly all of the Sahara Desert, an area of almost 9 million square kilometers. And with the wind speeds of over 150 miles per hour, the passage will most likely be difficult. Flying into the desert is brutal. Visibility is almost zero. And even the superbly crafted Atlantean aircraft isn't capable of delivering a smooth ride in such conditions. Cicero fiercely grips the controls in the cockpit, beads of sweat forming on his brow. A loud thump on the exterior gains all of your attention. Clinging to the roof is a strange creature, almost like a clay or poorly sculpted doll. It's humanoid, but without features. There are no eyes, no mouth or ears, just a simple blank oval of a head connected to the body. It raises a fist and then slams it into the cockpit with an audible boom that echoes within. Then a second creature impacts the nose, and it too begins to hammer away at the vessel. Then a third, a fourth, and they're everywhere, covering the vessel. Unable to maintain control, you begin to enter a violent spin.
That's where we begin.
We're going to begin right off the bat with initiative. Welcome to Metaverse.
Wow.
Wait, I'm actually missing.
You're missing one of those.
Oh.
Wait,
Oh.
Is this
Use any of those that
somebody's?
you want. I don't
I
know.
just need I think it's an 8. just need
Oh.
Nope, you need a
the
10.
nine.
There
A
you go.
10? Oh, okay. And what do we do, 12s or
12s?
12s.
Okay.
And then you should have an initiative modifier on your sheet.
Oh, gosh.
Cicero?
29.
29.
That was a lot better than me.
I rolled a 23 on my dice alone.
Why did you have an extra 6?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Bombshell?
17.
17. And Skinwalker.
15.
All much better than mine.
15's a good age.
And it makes sense that the
Dice.
gentleman at the controls of the aircraft is the first to react.
Am I to understand that there is a small force of golem-like creatures attaching themselves to this fine Atlantean craft?
There are.
Do I recognize them at all?
Not even remotely. They don't recognize or match any life forms on this
Speaking
planet.
as Primarch Cicero to Squire Atlantean, noble diplomat and battle leader, I believe there is nothing else to be done in this moment but to defend the ship by using its own innate Atlantean defenses.
It is quite well armed.
I am assuming that the repulsion field of which I am capable of
Absolutely.
emanating is somehow also conducively conduced by this fine Atlantean craft.
Absolutely it is.
In that case, I would like to repulse.
Will you please make an Atlantean technology check
Of course.
to attack them using the defenses of the vessel?
Atlantean technology check. Yes, I shall
Quite
make
good.
it by 4.
By 4, engaging the shielding systems to an offensive mode sends a massive electrical shock to the exterior, and 4 of these creatures are completely disintegrated, exploding much like into clay and chunks of rock and
Excellent.
stone. But there are still dozens more.
Humans, I
to
shall
the
remove
aircraft.
4 of the check marks that you did momentarily acquire.
To whom are you speaking?
You, Huan,
I am not a human.
Bombshell.
I come from.
are you Atlantean?
No,
You are human.
I am not. I am many things, but I am not human. It is my turn, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still a sandstorm outside.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
About 150 mile an hour winds too.
I fly. Something sucks.
Yeah.
Thought something was happening. I fly 500 miles per hour.
You do fly 500 miles per hour. You are capable of
I
flying.
am capable of flying.
You do not have to fly 500 miles
But I
per
can.
hour. It's not a 0-500 thing.
Right. But I could definitely fly faster than the wind.
You could most certainly fly faster than the wind.
I would like to fly fast. I would like to leave a little bit, kind of out the back door so it's not going to blow anybody else open, and then fly as fast as I can against the wind and pick off as many little clay creatures as possible.
Using a physical form of attack, I would assume?
Yeah, just
Make me a relevant skill check as you depart into the sandstorm.
skill check.
Am I to understand that you intend to leave this fine Atlantean craft without proper permission or authorization?
Yes. What did you just do?
Check mark for the bombshell.
Excellent. So I have completed a task. I appreciate this. Okay, the skill that I am going to use is botany
Excellent.
because you pick things, and I'm going to be picking up tiny little clay people.
Harvesting clay people. Okay.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm going to do. I'm also going to spend 2 meta points, please.
2 meta points spent.
So that I can.
Let it never be said you can't spell bombshell without beating
Not
us.
that a great battle leader needs one, but I did make a promise to Mark. All hail GM Jams with the hashtag cool rule.
Thank you, Chad.
All right.
You're really gonna go with that, huh?
Yes. I beat it by 3.
Thanks, guys. Beat it by 3. Amazingly done. Unlike traditional aircraft where you would have to open the door for the light, because of the field, you just simply go through it when you wish to leave.
Excellent.
The wonders of Atlantean technology will
This
never
is
cease to
spectacular.
amaze you.
May I leave nanowasps around to try to suss out more information? In another turn?
If they attempt to be independent from you outside in
They'll
that
die.
sandstorm, it's not going to be a pleasant
Oh,
environment
no,
due
no.
to their mass being so small.
Later, I want to connect to the computers because I can.
But you may leave them inside.
Okay,
Then
no.
they will be perfectly
That's
fine.
what I want.
But
Your deference to Atlantean technology has been noted.
it is better. Sorry, guys.
Is it better than mine?
I am not even going to begin to comment on Bombshell's technology. I am not authorized to make statements on such things. Using botany, what was that result again? You said?
I beat it by 3.
Beat it by 3. You quickly select 3 of these wonderful little creatures and harvest them, pitching them off into the sandstorm. Skinwalker,
How many are left on the ship?
dozens. They've covered the outside.
Dozens. Okay, before I do anything, can I like press myself against the glass to see if they react, to see if they could see me? Because they don't have eyes or anything. So I don't know what their senses are.
They're just pounding away on the exterior of this
So I
vessel, like
don't-
they're trying to crack open something, but
And they just fell from the sky.
seemingly fell from the sky, were launched, appeared out of nowhere. None of them has any wings, and the ones that you just saw get plucked and they didn't even fly. They just got thrown and exploded. It's
Okay.
rather a mystery.
Okay.
Where did they come from?
I wish I could tell you. I've just been in this glass bubble. But what I think I'm gonna do to make sure that no more get hurt and they can leave on their own is I would like to change into one of these clay people, and then I'll press myself up into the glass and like throw myself back to kind of signal them to be like, hey, get off on your own free will. Leave.
Maybe a persuasion roll.
Okay. Persuasion, not
Yeah.
disguise?
How will we tell you apart?
Huh?
This one's
Because
on
I'm
the
inside
inside.
the ship.
Okay.
Additionally, you have departed. The presence of the small clay one inside the ship is only my problem.
Okay.
You said persuasion? Well, if that's the case, I'm gonna use 2 mana points.
So 4 are used. Thank you, Chad.
Thank you, Chet.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
That's not a particularly great roll.
No. Jeez, and I moved them too. Okay.
Oh, man.
How much did you miss by?
5. Those are 14. Oh, 2.
You have your buff.
Oh, yeah. I can re-roll?
No,
Well, anything you could do, I could do better. What did you guys
No, I
roll?
meant the
You have a
your-
+6 to a roll still sitting up there at the top of your sheet.
+6.
That's
Remember
what they
from
voted
the
on.
beginning, the vote?
Oh, yeah.
You
the
can
buff
use that at
though.
any time,
But once.
but the buff you only get to use once.
And I'll
Others
use that
you get to
once.
use-
I
Yeah,
rolled a
you can use
12 last
once.
time.
I don't even know if this is gonna work, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna use my +6.
Gonna use the +6.
Yeah, thank you. I'm messing up. First roll. Messing up.
There is no messing up.
Adjusting it by 6 makes it a success by
Yes.
4.
Yes.
Which means it has to work at least a little bit.
Yes, it does, in
Please,
fact,
please, goodness.
work a little bit. The entirety of at least 8 or 9 that are on that section looking at you with their lack of eyes cease their smashing their fists into the cockpit. They don't leap away or jump away like you just did, but they just completely stop. Just hanging on to the exterior now. And the others haven't stopped beating on it, but at least a dozen of them right there just staring at you with no eyes and no face and no expression.
Okay.
Completely focused intently upon you.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna
The
keep
remaining ones attempt to batter the ship.
I must object to their decision to attack this fine Atlantean craft.
it. I agree.
And with a group effort, several of them are able to pull one of the wings free of the craft
That's
and
nice.
send it into a tight spiral.
That's
Oh, good.
You make me either a piloting or an Atlantean technology check, your choice.
Will unfortunately void the Atlantean warranty. 11. I shall make the technology check by 3.
You are able to keep the turn going in the arc to a sort of an auto rotation so that the landing, rather than being nose down and at full
Are
speed,
we over land or water at present?
the Sahara.
Well, that is most unfortunate.
So the landing, rather than being nose down and at the full maximum velocity, is rather slowed down and tight and spiral-like, bouncing from dune to dune, and every one of your occupants is unharmed with your amazing piloting skills, saving the day. However, on the impact and landing, it is enough to disrupt the machinery that provides the repulsion fields for this craft, dropping the cockpit completely away along with its mode of transportation, leaving you completely exposed to these strange creatures. And some of them face first in the dunes as the repulsion field that they were hammering on suddenly drops away. Cicero. You've managed to successfully crash land the vessel and have a brief moment before it seems these things will continue their assault. What do you do?
Am I to understand, speaking as Primarch Cicero to Squire, Atlantean noble diplomat, battle leader, and expert pilot, that they have destroyed my ship
They have.
and marooned
destroyed
us
your
somewhere
ship.
in the Sahara,
Yes.
which I am told does not have water?
It does not.
I am greatly offended by this and would like to respond appropriately. As such, I shall retrieve the trident of Poseidon, aim it at the nearest clumping of these infernal creatures, and you can do the description.
See what happens. All right. You know, I want you to grab your Thomas sheet. Will probably be more appropriate for use in
Yes.
this one.
Sorcery is
Yes,
what we're talking
I'm going to
about.
need a sorcery check from you.
I will use a buff and make it.
I think that we could all use a little hashtag clarity, at least until we get some soul jams from GM Jams Dr. Ham. Oh yes,
Ah.
we are going there.
I would buy that CD.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Still not the worst one.
So yes, that is what I shall do.
And so that makes it a success by
I
how
succeed
many?
by 6.
Succeed by 6. With devastating power, and a bolt of lightning flies forth from
That was
this
most unexpected
trident.
from the god of the sea.
I love this guy. And explodes among these golem-like creatures as they were so aptly described. Detonating with a force that dissolves 6 of them completely and sends a half dozen more with missing limbs scattered about the dunes.
Poseidon's wrath be upon you!
There
Shipbreakers.
seem to be scarcely more than a dozen unharmed remaining. Bombshell.
I believe that I have acquired the power of Riptide at some point in my career. And
true.
I would like to, and I know that I think these figures are made of clay, which has water in it, and it is not movable when it is dry. So I would like to dry them out and suck all the moisture out of them.
The Chad has arrived. All hail Chad. All hail Chad. All hail Chad. Hashtag hack attack.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Chad.
Thank you,
Hey,
Chad.
chat.
You guys are great.
So yes, I would like to remove the moisture from all of the clay people.
All right, roll against rank 15.
Okay.
You're going to desiccate them?
Yes.
That would be.
If that means that. I beat it by 2.
Beat it by 2. Of the 12, 2 of them completely stop in their tracks. Less golem and more featureless, really bad second grader sculptor statue.
That's what I was going for.
Which is about my personal limit as far as
That's
sculpting
where I
goes.
peaked as well.
Yeah, I'm right there. Can't do anything better.
Artistically, let me rephrase that. Check mark for the human.
Indeed. With Bombshell completely moved to Skinwalker, there are 10 that are unharmed, 6 that are missing limbs, 2 that are statues, and the rest, well, they've rejoined the sand.
Which, the ones that are missing limbs, because they're clay, they're not growing back, they're not trying to make
They
new
don't
ones,
seem to be.
They just are gone and they
They
can't.
don't seem to be.
Okay. Then what I am going to do is, as my clay person, I'm gonna go up to, I'm gonna, cause they like to look at me. I'm gonna approach some of the, I don't know, how many, is there any close to me? I'll go to the 6 that are missing arms.
All
or
right.
Missing legs.
What are you going to do?
I'm gonna go up to them while they're looking at me and hypnotized by there's maybe an unfamiliar one of them. And then I am going to, as my clay form, mold into a ball of clay, not necessarily human form, but a ball of clay in hopes that they will replicate that mold. And if they don't, then I'm gonna use that ball of clay to then bounce up and hit them in the head. So I'm gonna hope that they replicate me first, and if not, then I'll knock them in the dome.
Give me a persuasion check again.
Hey, okay. Persuasion. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I made it by that time.
Yes, dead on. 12 is a dead success. They are completely, those 600, absolutely fascinated with you. While they don't roll up into balls, they've ceased their struggles, like the crawling, or even they're just staring at you. But it's the most amazing thing that they have ever seen in their entire life, with their lack of expression and lack of it's fixed completely upon you, unmoving, just staring at you.
It is a nice feeling, is it not?
To be watched?
I believe she meant adored.
Oh, I don't know if I was adored.
So this one has issues.
Oh.
I do. I just learned them.
Oh.
It's very upsetting.
Dear.
Self-deification.
At least you know who you are.
Sort of. Sometimes. Sometimes I have more confidence than others.
Okay.
But I like when people like me.
I like you.
Thank you.
You're very shiny.
I am, yes, but I could not be shiny if you would prefer. Does it hurt your eyes? Am I gleaming too much?
No, I don't have eyes at the moment.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
I'm just a ball.
That's true.
Fellow members of this adventuring party, I feel the need to point out the
Challenge
imminent
mode
attack we're
activated.
experiencing.
$5 for every time the cast breaks Soul GM Jams Dr. Ham. Hashtag MetaPoint.
Breaks? Oh, so if we have to break him?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Good to know.
Thanks, Chad.
Good goals. Thank you.
Are any of these golems still remaining?
Oh yes, there are 10, and they are definitely going to press their attack here. I just want to hear
In
all
a
these
moment
things.
of hashtag clarity, don't forget the biggest turnip for a quick 2 renown.
Turnip?
a big
Nice
turnout.
reference on Red
Yes,
Shirt, Hands of
yes.
Fate.
Nice.
That turnip.
That's right. Which we found the top. Did I tell you this?
Was it missing a top?
The top was hanging from the ceiling of the old storage unit.
I didn't know it had a top.
Yes, it's green because it's a plant.
Because it's a plant. I just thought it was a harvested one that had no top.
No,
Why are you giggling at Mark?
Mark makes me laugh.
Doing a $5 every time he breaks.
Making Mark laugh makes me laugh. I can't help it. It's a vicious cycle.
I think I just need to grab one of these people and beat them to death with my clay automatons here. Now, not a single one makes a hostile move in your direction. However, all of them move directly towards you.
Excellent. Bring it.
Is that because he obliterated them with the magic stick?
No, that is not why, but I am not going to tell you why.
I will have to find out by myself.
That is correct. However, I'm going to attack Cicero quite a few times, and that one's definitely going to hit. That is a critical success.
Is this a ranged attack?
It is a co-op attack. It requires 6 or more of them to attack physically in hand-to-hand combat.
Technically, my repulsion field is still up.
Yes, this is correct. They will have to overcome that force field when inflicting damage.
Excellent.
Of the 2 groups of them, only one is able to complete their co-op attack of smother and batter, which is, not the same as when you deep fry something, but
But it sounded like
very, very similar. And that will inflict 80 damage to you. Make sure to subtract your armor first, and you will have the condition of restrained while they are upon you.
I'm about to die.
Do not worry. I will save you. I am good at that.
They are quite incredibly strong. And it is your turn.
Speaking as
Very-
Primarch Cicero to Squire
and
Lancy,
restrained.
noble diplomat, battle leader, expert pilot, and currently upset.
That's a title now.
I do declare that these golems must leave my presence. Their behavior is inappropriate, and unwanted.
Are they?
They have damaged Atlantean property. They have voided a very valid warranty. And they are frankly close to killing me. None of these things are appropriate. I believe I need to do something drastic.
What would that be?
Stall.
I can help. If you'd like.
Any and all help will be appreciated. However, first, I shall attempt to use my force gun.
Yes.
Which, if I understand correctly, gives me a 30 stun damage in a burst.
Or 40 to a single target.
I do not think a single target is the way to go, given that there are 10, and that is the number of hit points I currently have. Thank you, chat, or I would be dead.
Why don't you give me a shooting test? Because it is superior to your Atlantean technology.
Here we go. I shall do this on the lower thing, using the buff with the clarity, as it were.
Thank you, Chad.
Thank you for the moment of clarity, chat.
Thank you.
I shall beat it by 12.
Every single
Hi-ya!
one of these creatures is going to be stunned. They will not act this round because they are all stunned. You are no longer under the condition of restraint.
Good.
As they twitch and writhe on the ground from this high-tech Atlantean weapon.
Do they have powers?
Does it seem like it's
In fact, yes, actually they do. They have super strength, rank 3. Every single one of them does.
Oh. I also have super strength, though.
Yes, you're stronger.
I am very strong.
They're strong, but not
They
as
are
strong
also
as you.
small and made of clay. I think I would like to continue sucking them dry.
You better pay. It just happened. Roll the dice.
Okay.
That's my girl.
I got an 8. I beat it by 7.
Ah,
I am
you
very
are going to
good-
get a bonus of 4 because they are currently unable to defend or protect themselves due to the stunning effect. So how high would your success be with a bonus of 4?
Be a criticism.
11.
Oh, so that is a critical success. Other than the 6 that are missing limbs and completely fixated on Skinwalker, the rest are now solid, dried out statues.
Because I am very good at sucking.
Apparently. That leaves it to
I
you.
I was hoping it was gonna just rest a little bit longer. Just a little. Just let it sit on the table just a little bit longer, you know?
No.
No.
I like playing with you.
Just a little. Just let it sit a little bit longer. If I go like this, what happens?
You're back.
That's what happens.
What about the 6 with no limbs?
Are you attempting to inspire them to do something?
No,
or are you
I'm just
sitting
doing
there?
this. I'm just asking you what
Their
they're doing.
heads
Their heads are
move
going up and
with,
down.
Yeah, it's just really odd to watch.
Okay. So if I start bouncing in a circle around them, like circling them, what do? Do they keep looking at me?
Yep.
Okay. So
I won't, but they will.
So if I'm bouncing around in a circle all around the clay guys, and what if this bounce, what I'm planning on doing is bouncing in a circle, and then my clay ball starts to elongate, okay? So they're just watching me, and I'm bouncing around in a circle, and I'm just gonna like make sure all the clay people are kind of like just tied up together, because they lost their arms, right? He's laughing. I just want to point that out. So I'm gonna bounce in a ball, in a circle, just wrapping
I'm
up
picturing
these clay
this
guys.
like sperm-looking thing getting more like a snake-looking thing.
Yeah, so like when you start going like this on the clay and it gets longer, I'm gonna turn into that Gumby clay snake and just like wrap myself around them just slowly as they look, because they're not gonna do anything.
I love this
Because I'm a clay ball. Okay, and then it's just gonna get tighter and tighter, and before they know it, they're like in a clay lasso. But I'd like to somehow project through my non-facial facial expression that it's just like a warm hug. I'm just, I'm bouncing around and I'm like, oh, no need to be scared or threatened. I'm just, let's just bring it in. Let's just bring it in.
It's such a gentle way to deal with them.
Yeah, just bring it in. Well, I
They
feel
never once stop doing the staring at you.
Yeah.
Never once. And when you get closer and closer, there's not a struggle. Not any of them resist. They don't try and hit you or grab you or pull away. They just stare at you over and over until you get to the point where you can't even see them anymore because you've covered them entirely.
I think I made some new friends.
Well, they are not trying to injure us, therefore they might be agreeable.
Yeah. Are they still separate, or have I absorbed them so we're now one super clay ball?
That
Are
is
you
also
attempting to absorb them?
No, I'm actually just asking.
Okay.
We could all use a little more hashtag clarity.
Aw, thank you.
Thank you, Chad.
But now that you say that,
It does feel good to be part of many.
it is.
Though they might be evil. But I've also had that happen as well.
Absorbing evil?
Yes, I subdued it. It was in my pinky toe.
Okay, but do you have a pinky toe?
Yes.
Okay, it's still there,
Well, of course.
but the evil's gone.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I have these things. Should I?
Didn't I absorb evil in my pinky toe?
I don't think it's gone. It's still there, technically.
Right, but I rehabilitated it.
Yeah, you did.
I'm not going to absorb them yet. I'm just gonna hang on and maybe we can have a group chat about what I should do with my friends. It's just like, I got these.
How is she communicating with us without a mouth?
You don't know where the noise is coming from.
But I still hear it.
You still hear it. It's really fascinating. She's probably one of the most fascinating life forms that you've come across. And that ability to be all these different things, she's remarkably similar to you in that aspect, but also entirely different.
Does she have a file?
Almost nothing.
There's a little bit though.
Very, very little, and what you do have has mostly been tampered with.
I would like to print it out just to see it.
Sightings go back as far as the 1950s.
Wait, what is this coming out of your mouth?
Every little information in a bit that Bombshell has on Skinwalker.
Do you have a dot matrix printer?
What? No.
The
What?
majority of it consists of her time as Bob Baker when she was under the influence of Dr. Migraine, convinced she was Bob Baker in Sentinel City.
This is an interesting history.
What history? I don't.
This is of you, yes?
I mean,
Other than
Yeah.
the Bob Baker parts, you don't recognize any of it. You have no memory of any of these other previous Skinwalker sightings.
I don't know that part.
This
I
part?
don't- Yeah, the before Bob Baker. I don't know that part. I don't remember.
I will highlight it.
Speaking as Thomas, is it possible that I might be able to access some sort of latent memory or something from the knowledge that I acquired?
It's quite possible.
Which may actually be appropriate to this situation as well.
Is this
Quite
helpful?
possible.
I would like to make an
highlighted
attempt to
pertinent
help.
information. Is this
Because you
helpful?
can use any skills from the Prime Metaverse at a 16, you will be rolling against that.
Excellent.
Is this helpful? I highlighted pertinent information.
Much so, especially because I rolled like poop. If I get a bonus from her, then I shall
You do get a
succeed.
bonus.
Then I shall take it on the dot, most likely.
You again find that the majority of files at different points have been tampered with, and most of them are kind of like early UFO sightings where people say they saw something, but there's no way to confirm who or what it is. But there is, going back, an early 17th century account of a shape-changing individual who went by the name of Skinwalker that you were able to find.
Excellent. Am I to understand at the moment that both Skinwalker and Bombshell are currently in the extreme end of their avatar condition, and as such, attempting to speak to their pilots would be not likely to succeed?
This is correct.
Ah, excellent. Yes, you're quite old.
I heard that is unkind.
No, I meant it in a factual sort of sense.
But I heard that it is unkind. Though I wouldn't mind, as I still feel quite young. Even though I've lived for 400 years.
Ah,
Because I
you are
don't remember
older.
all of them.
Or maybe less. We don't know.
A wonderful little detail to throw into our conversation is the fact that this sandstorm exists on the exterior view. It's like you're in an eye of a storm. They don't exist in sandstorms. It's perfectly calm
Is it moving?
where you are.
Is it like, or is it
Just perfectly still, as though you're on the edge of it. Just behind you, if you took a few steps back, you would be right back in the sandstorm. It's like you're on the edge of a clearing in the middle of a sandstorm.
Well, this is.
We were surrounded by the sandstorm.
Aye, you find yourselves in an eye of it, and you can see it on all sides, and like right behind you, and it's about 128 degrees Fahrenheit and completely calm inside.
Can I take a couple steps towards that wall of the sandstorm?
Right, it gets
Does-
louder and louder.
Does it shift?
Nope.
Does it avoid me?
Nothing.
Can these things communicate?
They don't seem to be.
I don't
Every time
hear
you
anything
every
from
time you peek in, as in move your ocular nerves so you can see it, they're still doing that,
So they're just looking at me.
just staring at you.
Can I try and communicate with them?
How are you trying to communicate with them?
I will use my voice mimicry, whatever their voice is.
They have
I
not
don't
made
know-
any
I mean,
noises.
so I have to hear it first, huh?
I could do a flashy light display.
Do they flashy light display to see if they react to it?
Friend Skinwalker, before we attempt that, if I may be of help, speaking as Primoxis Root Squire, Atlantean noble, diplomat, battle leader, and expert pilot, although we may be dropping the last part due to the lack of ship, it is entirely possible that communicating with these creatures, given how we have experienced them and first met them, I do believe that if I were to take this trident and insert it into each one of them, we may discover what makes them tick.
Would that not kill them?
It is possible. However, we won't know unless we try.
There are many things that we do not know until we try, or find out, and discover on wanderings.
Well, that's one for skewering, and one against.
How many am I holding? 6.
6, and most of them, they're all missing some limb or multiple limbs of the 6. None of them is completely whole.
I'm having a Borg dilemma.
A Borg dilemma.
Yeah. I don't want you to hurt them. I'm holding them now, and I've been bouncing with them, and it feels very maternal, and now I'm starting to kind of get attached a little bit. Because I get what it's like to not have a face, because I don't have one right now.
Empathy. Check mark for the human.
I could poke little holes in you to make eyes. Is that better?
Can I blink them? Can I blink
And
my
it's just as
divots?
though Clay got fingers stuck into it.
So I can't blink my
If you want to
divots?
like make it physical, you can reshape yourself and make it happen. You can shape yourself into anything, so you can make that happen. It's not really eyes though, you're just moving.
Can you draw
cells.
a smile on me too?
Yes, hold on.
Wendy Slats, your Metaverse news travel correspondent here with a hashtag news flash. Remember when traveling to hot climates to hydrate and wear lots of sunscreen? Now back to James in the studio.
Thank you, Chad. A
you very
news
much,
flash. Here we go. News flash. The wreckage from the private jet hijacked from LAX by FBI terror suspect Bruno Hamilton and his unknown accomplice were found off the coast of Portugal by authorities this morning. No bodies have been recovered in the wreckage. They are continuing the search.
Now that I have a happy face, I'm gonna look down and see if they also make a happy face. So I'm
No
just-
change.
No change?
No change at all.
I could draw happy faces on them.
I would like to attempt to repair the ship while this is going on.
Believe it might be beyond repair.
There's no such thing as beyond repair when an Atlantean is involved. Check
But
mark
you gotta give
for
it a
the
couple of
human.
tries. Give me an Atlantean technology check to see what you can do.
Should I have an artistic check?
If you wish to make it look very
I
pretty.
beat it by 2.
I do. I want to get better and better and better. Improving
You are able to
is
get
how I can grow.
the life support systems back online and the propulsion systems back online, but with only the one wing, it isn't capable of flight so much.
Isn't capable.
I beat my artistic skill by 2.
It is a really nice looking
like a Picasso
face,
happy
yeah.
face?
I will try again on the next
There were
one.
3 of them.
I only beat that one by 1, so I'm getting a little worse.
It's cubism.
I will keep trying. Ooh, I beat that one by 5.
The faces are getting nicer and nicer, but there doesn't seem to be any real change from these faces.
Well, maybe if we make them all happy and then I absorb them, it will be positive energy.
I'm saying I enjoy being one of multiple.
And then if not, if they give me a stomach ache, I will regurgitate them so you can deal with the trident.
Ah, excellent.
So is that cool?
I
Is that
regurgitate paper. It prints out information.
Can you print out information on these guys?
Do I have any information on those
Only
guys?
what you have compiled since you have encountered them.
I can print out my observations thus far.
Can you make conclusions based on your observations?
I could try.
Are you concluding that they are still dangerous even though I've been holding them and they are not affecting me at all?
I am not concluding that.
Okay. Do they all have happy faces?
The ones that she drew on them.
Hold on.
Some better than others.
Hold on. I got 3 more.
We
Oh,
have
3 more? Okay.
Beat that one by 9. Beat that one by 10.
So those last 2 are really, really good.
Are they laughing like super joyous?
Like, they're just really, really good happy faces. There's,
I'm gonna take a picture of that. It's very pretty.
this bombshell has some serious talent for art. At
So
least
they-
finger painting.
So they all have happy faces, right?
Yep, they'll have finger painted happy faces.
Okay. I am going to hug them so hard that they will just absorb into my stomach so they are now with me.
Roll 2 8s and tell me what you get.
Dear God, I'm so scared right now. Oh boy, I got an 8.
And your body score is a 14.
Yeah?
You absorb all 6 of them.
Okay.
Give yourself 30 temporary health.
Ooh. Oh,
Speaking of which, is there any kind of
You're much bigger.
I'm bigger. Got it.
medical component to the life support systems on this Atlantean ship?
You have some basic first aid kits. In fact, you should probably use one of them.
I'd like
If
to.
you get into a jam with your GM, have a hashtag LOOT box or 2.
Ooh, thank you, Chad.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Chad.
Hey, I have a question.
Shoot.
The last time I was on, we had boosted abilities I don't think I used one of.
You still would have it if it was down from the hack.
I could heal him.
You very much could. In fact, between the 2 of them, that might be more than enough.
Live on the Metaverse Jams network. Dr. Hammond the Great OD's new breakout hit, Master of Wreckage. After these commercial messages, Sapphire Industries presents the only hammer you'll ever need for nails or just breaking everything around you. Hashtag MetaPoint.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chad.
Will it smash the patriarchy?
I certainly hope so.
Nice one.
So I'm a bigger clay guy,
Yeah, you're right. At least 3 times the size you were before.
and I feel okay.
No different other than bigger.
Does Skinwalker currently look like Skinwalker or like the clay golems?
What are you
still the-
wishing to look like at this
I'm
moment?
still the clay guy right now.
She looks like a bigger
but-
version of the clay
Oh, because
things.
you did before. It's true, so this would not be a new thing.
Though
I knew that to be
kind of
Atlantean.
ball-like instead of the legs from the bouncing and stretched out and weird.
Oh yeah, but
and-
once I absorbed them, I kind of became that clay
Okay, just
person
like them?
again. So
Okay.
I'm not the
But
Gumby snake.
as long as that's what you wish to look like. If you don't wish to look like that, you will look like whatever it is that you wish to look like right
I want to look like Gumby.
now. All right, you look like Gumby. Green and all.
No, I'm still
Okay.
clay colored. I'm just that
Just curious.
shape with the tapered head and the block arms.
Interesting.
Yeah, very tall Gumby.
About the
Interesting.
healing.
The on-board will recover 30 maximum health.
Excellent.
And I believe that you can heal up to 50, if I'm not mistaken.
80 or
Or
something?
80?
Like, it's
yeah.
a lot.
So I think those 2 combined are more than the total
Excellent.
lost hit points. Which, it should be noted that Cicero was looking pretty much dead on his feet a moment ago.
But the flesh wound for an Atlantean. Noble.
So all
Diplomat.
Atlanteans die of flesh
And
wounds.
battle determined. I did not die.
All Atlanteans almost die from flesh wounds.
Almost is a relative term. By
If-
definition.
If I had not healed you, would you have died?
Eventually.
If I had hit you
all
instead of
die
healing
at
you,
some
would you
point.
have died?
As an Atlantean, I'm capable of taking a great deal amount of punishment.
Do you understand how powerful I am?
I understand that you do not seem to have a regular form. Neither does this other companion with whom we have been traveling.
And then with that comment, I just go, and I look like Maddox again.
All right.
Fascinating.
Do I still feel okay?
Yeah, except that you're bigger.
I'm like big. I'm like 6 foot now.
Oh, closer to like 8.5.
Baller.
Yeah.
I'm
just
going
a
to-
bigger version of everything.
To continue to impress the Atlantean, I'm going to into swarm form and like surround him and like go
It's
and then
really loud.
back.
Am I to understand that you are comprised of the primary food source for the animals of the sea?
No, they would not eat nano-wasps, and if they did, I would just take notes and discover all about their innards. What are you writing down? That I am amazing. Because that would be the truth.
Excellent. So the ship is broken. How do we go forward from here?
There are miles and miles of dunes, and they're moving like waves.
From the wind.
It's dead calm in the middle of this spot free from the storm, but all of a sudden you can visibly see it like waves.
Is it like moving us?
Moving like swells. You don't think you're moving. You don't feel like you're moving. But ahead of you, it's like swells, like an ocean waves, just moving across the dunes, reshaping. No seemingly pattern to it, because an ocean you can only see of. It just seems to be completely random. Shifting sands.
Like water, the like I'm picturing the level of water when it's almost boiling.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, I will confess it's been quite a while since I was in the desert.
Another moment of hashtag clarity to help you out of future sticky jams.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chad.
Thanks, guys.
However, I do not recall the movement of sand in this quite this nature, quite this way.
I should investigate. Can I fly up and see what I see?
Flying up about 700-800 feet, you can see quite some ways. You're in probably a 600 or 700 square mile just empty spot in the middle of this swirling storm, and as far out until it reaches the storm where you can't see, the sand is just moving and shifting.
Can I see past the storm?
Not at all.
So there's just one circle of clear, warbly sand, and then just in every direction.
In every direction. Completely, again, unnatural. As much of the things you've been encountering lately seem to be completely unnatural.
Sure. Okay.
Have you come back and told us?
Oh yeah, you already have a nano-wasp of mine. I can tell you everything that I think.
I have a nano-wasp?
She likes to let them hang out near your ear and tell you whatever she wants to tell you all the time.
Have I had that in there the whole time?
Then I've been with you.
Oh, it's just a little bug
Yes.
that can talk to me and let me see what you see?
No, you can't see what I see, but you can hear what I say, and I can hear what you say.
So you can hear me at all times?
Yes.
But I can't see you. See
Correct.
what you're seeing?
Right, but I can describe it to you,
Yes.
and I have.
Okay. And that's been there the whole time?
Since I've met you,
Oh.
you were one of my team. I wanted to make sure we were in constant communication.
She's got consent issues.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's cool. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Information sharing.
It is integral. Integral. My circuits are strange. It is very important for a
What-
team to communicate.
So what do you think the sands look like?
Sand.
Yeah, over there, there's the movement.
Moving
you-
sand.
What do you think it means? Is there something underneath?
I would assume so.
Should we go over and dig?
We could.
Does the movement look too violent to perhaps dig through?
I have an idea,
Okay.
but we need the Atlanteans' help.
Okay. Where did he go? He was just here.
He's messing around with the ship at the
He's
moment.
messing around with
yeah,
the
he's still
ship.
digging around and pulling out little things. There's like all kinds of little hidden compartments and kits for when they crash, and trauma kits and survival
How
bags.
often do Atlantean ships crash? I was made to understand that they were impervious.
Atlantean ships do not crash, they sometimes land unexpectedly.
Then why do you have compartments where they need crash equipment?
Safety is the #1 concern of all Atlanteans.
True, he said.
Would it not be more productive than to put more resources into keeping the spaceship afloat?
Atlantean ships are sometimes equipped with extraneous wings in the event of a catastrophic wing departure.
How often do wings depart from your ships?
Rarely, that's why this one did not have any.
So the ship was a glass orb, which means all the
Glass force generated.
Oh,
It's like a little-
it
there's no
wasn't
glass.
material.
No.
And the wings are gone, or are they around?
Well, one of them, you have no idea where it ended up when they ripped it off. It could be out in that sandstorm somewhere. It could have gotten ripped to pieces.
So
who
what are the
knows?
tangible parts that are still there?
The majority of it, except for that wing.
So the computer, nothing, but there is no shell because you said it was a force.
It's force generated, yeah.
Okay, so there's no
He
like
can generate force with it. He has. There's just no wing.
there,
It's
but
like
there's
flying
no,
a plane
like,
with one wing.
but there's no panels.
No. No panels to use.
So the whole thing is force.
I was gonna
Oh, no,
say,
the
I'm-
wings themselves. So sorry, the wings are solid objects. The wings
And the
are
wings are
solid
gone.
objects. The force generating equipment, solid objects.
gotcha.
Computers, solid
One-
objects.
But much of it is still
Much of it
force.
is still force based. It's like the thinnest of metal frames, and when these force things kick in, it shields the entirety of the craft and the passenger chamber, and that's what propels it along.
Atlantean technology is quite impressive. That's why we met on that trade conversation
So
with your compatriots.
we have one wing. How big is it?
Not all that big. Maybe it's 30 feet long, maybe 12 feet wide at the widest.
Okay. So 2 people could sit on it.
Am I to understand our only issue is we do not have a physical wing?
Yes.
Oh, this is easily solved.
Because I could be a wing.
Either of you could.
Or my idea was much more complicated, so let's just go with that one.
My idea about the rumbly sand was that you could point your magic stick and shoot lightning at it. Because lightning makes sand turn into glass, and it would stop moving.
That shit sounds cool. Let's do that. And then we can have a glass.
We shall shoot the glass, lightning, sand.
All right. Make a sorcery check as you point
Atlantean grammar is quite complicated.
the
Sometimes it
trident of
sounds odd.
Poseidon at the moving sands in front of you. Will you give me a sorcery check?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. This is so.
Oh, I aced this one. I get it by 4.
You unleash another bolt of powerful lightning from this staff, and it hits probably a 5 or 6 foot diameter area and makes a beautiful sheet of very unpolished, crude glass. A lot of impurities in it. And that piece of glass is now riding along in these
Like a surfboard.
sand waves, like a surfboard.
At this moment in time, my desire to be in touch with the ground is quite limited. I do believe
Would you like to
retreating
ride your...
the sky may be a good idea.
Going back to the sky?
It has less of the moving sand involved with it.
Well, are you still able to make some sort of force?
Yes.
The force generators are completely fine.
Okay. If you made, because also my idea was to, because I'm sure we've seen one with being in the desert or at least flying over it, and because I'm supersized now, is to shift into a desert snake, which I know can move ultra fast through sand, and forcing you guys to sit on the glass, and I will go through.
I did not see a good way around the sandstorm.
Can we go
Not
over it?
above,
No.
not through.
I did not see when I went up. If we were to go up in the airplane,
That's easier.
aircraft, I do not think so. There's nowhere to go.
Because the storm's in the way and we can't see.
Perhaps we could use the force generator to be modified as some sort of shielding device and set out on some version of foot.
Or snake.
And I will carry you because Apparently things don't mind me because I'm not me. I'm always something else. The whale worked. You guys were inside of me and it didn't affect. So if you guys could protect yourself with some sort of force, I will go straight through the desert in a form that I know was made for this desert terrain.
I am okay with that.
Can you work with this?
I can work with anything you want to throw at me.
Perfect.
I'm just curious as to what you're planning to do.
Where are we trying to go? Just through the storm.
I believe we're trying to reach
You know, it's a funny thing you mentioned that is, the spire should be, you should be able to see it.
Through the sandstorm? Or when I was
You
up?
could see it from thousands, you should be able to see it. You should have seen it then, or
And I did not.
you don't see it now.
Oh.
That's kind of weird.
Do I have any idea what direction it should be?
Oh, you have it from your previous nanowasp fight. It should be about 90 miles that way. I mean, you should not be able to miss it. It should be right here in front of you.
Right with the rumble.
You should be able to see this.
It's underground.
It went underground.
I don't know.
Does your snake go underground?
Let's see. Let's find out. I think that snakes could probably burrow.
They are like worms, are they not?
Yeah, they are just very,
Large worms.
especially this one.
Yes.
Yeah. Go underground. I don't know what digs through sand.
Sandworms.
I was gonna say my animal encyclopedia is running out. Scorpions?
No, ew.
Do they go underneath
I think so.
sand? I could dig.
Sandworm?
Sandworm?
Flea.
Oh, like the Beetlejuice. Those those giant, and I'm wearing the jacket and everything. The Beetlejuice sandworms, they go in and out of the ground. I'm sure Maddox has definitely seen Beetlejuice at one point in her life. No, Michael
I can
Keaton.
play it right now.
If you say it once more, he'll show up.
It's very funny.
I know, I've said it twice. Oh my goodness.
I think you have to be looking in a mirror for that, though, isn't
No,
that
that's
right?
Candy.
That's Bloody Mary.
That's Bloody Mary.
Doesn't work if you look at the camera and you're like, say the things.
Sandworm. Then I go into it.
You love us.
Do we think it's underground? If it's right here and all this activity is in the sand,
I
that
think
would
there's
explain
a
it.
very strong chance that.
If it is not
This
above
is
ground,
logical.
it must be underground. Or invisible.
So either way, we go to it, and if we just run into any invisible walls,
It would hurt.
yay, we made it.
She is certain that it would be like 90 miles. She knows its exact location.
Right where
that
the
part,
rumble
despite
is.
the wasp being destroyed, the sky.
I
The
still know where
physical
it was.
dimensions don't. Yeah,
Okay.
it should.
It's still on my, like, beep beep GPS.
You have a map, and it should be right there.
It should be right there.
Okay.
What if we traveled 20 meters underground on your worm,
Beetlejuice
sandworm?
worm?
Yes. And underground to the 90 miles away. And if we hit a foundation, or we hit the top, or we hit something, then we will know we are there.
Okay.
Can I
Also-
project a force field in front of the worm so that if it hits the wall
I
first?
believe if you had about an hour of time, you could probably modify that force projector to do exactly that.
I was gonna say, or make me a football helmet or something, because
I
In
prefer
fact-
you not become concussed as part of this.
With an
excursion.
hour,
Thanks.
you could make just about any shape in the same general
Let's do that.
area effect of that cockpit, and you could, in fact, even use the drive force repulsion to maybe make something on the front end of the said
Excellent.
snake. There's a lot of options available with your superior Atlantic technology.
And having that knowledge of Atlantean technology and battle tactics, that's what we will do.
You give me an Atlantean technology check as you work with these force devices.
Do it at the low end.
Thank you very
I'll
much.
crit it.
Crit success, you in less than an hour. You tell them it's going to take you an hour. In less than 30 minutes, he has this new device wired up with straps so that he can put it in place on board this snake form that you're going to take.
I am
It's
sur- I-
my apologies, I was going to make a bad joke. Is that okay?
I was going to say that I am surprised that your time estimate was so ineffective.
Actually, I was channeling the history of an old Atlantean legend. One well-known engineer who went by the name of Scotty.
And what did the Scotty say?
He would often tell you that he needed more time than he did in order to get something done.
Why?
Because then he looked smarter when he succeeded.
This sounds inefficient and braggy.
You've literally been worshipped as a god.
And?
Twice.
Justifiably.
Check mark for the bombshell.
I like getting check marks.
So you take the form of this giant sand snake is what you're trying to become? All right.
I love that.
No.
And you're usually when you turn yourself into something big, like previously when you were a whale, you always feel very stretched thin when it's really big.
Yeah.
This extra mass says you feel a lot less stretched thin. You feel more solid,
Yeah.
as though you have more mass to use than before.
Let's go get some more mass.
More clay people.
Yeah, well, or Eddie, maybe if I find another sand snake.
I dried 2 of them up. I could refill them.
Are they there? Are they around?
Aren't they there? Yeah, they're there. I could put more water back in.
And make them come back? But I'm not a clay person anymore.
That's true.
I'm a sandworm.
Also true.
If you wanted to add water, you can make them into baby clay worms and maybe they'll still like me. They can go as like 2 horses on the side of a carriage.
I'm just enjoying the work.
This rocking motion just feels really good tonight.
The mothering, rocking
There
motion.
you go. Just a vessel. Here I go. Are we going? Do I have this
You
horse?
begin moving with this passenger compartment strapped to you, and it takes a little effort to get used to moving in a fashion with it on your back, and burrowing is not something you've spent much time doing. So it takes you a little bit of time to get into the swing of things as you're going along, but within a few minutes, you're making pretty decent time. Not as fast as you would in an aircraft or driving, but
Is there some kind of music you would wish to listen to?
Ah, taking care of that.
I was going to play it for her in her ear.
No, there's only one thing we can play right now.
I don't know what that is.
Boo, do 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 do. No, that's the wrong song. How's it go? That's Smack That. That's the one. I'm trying to think of how Sandstorm is played.
Oh, that
Yeah, the
techno
yes.
headbanger.
That's all I could be thinking of.
Oh God, what is it? Oh, how's it go?
Actually, I have the lyrics for it right here.
Digga, 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 digga.
Anyway, I will play you some soft tunes if you like. If you are feeling stressed, I can play
Okay.
soft tunes.
There we go.
Or I can play a good road trip
Yes.
variety.
Road trip variety.
The song goes. I'm sorry. Dun 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 boom. Dun 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 boom. Dun 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 dun. Beep 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 beep.
Is he singing this?
Beep 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 beep. These are the lyrics to Sandstorm.
No, but I know. But are you singing while we're driving?
Yes.
Because I much like every time we transport, I would like you to serenade me. That's what I want. There you go. Keep going. Makes me faster.
D. New. Do.
Are we there? Are we there yet?
We're only halfway through the song.
I'll take waterboarding next time, thanks.
My voice is shot, AK. I couldn't sing it if I tried to right now. Oh,
I liked it.
thank you.
In fact, I'm gonna request that you serenade every time we travel somewhere.
Below the surface, the sand is moving just like it is on the surface, like waves.
Is it massaging your belly?
I was gonna say, it feels kind of nice. It is sand.
Weird is the word I would go with, but nice is okay too.
Yeah, a little tickly. If you feel little spasms in these, I'm like,
It's a blurry line. We're not going to get into that. That one's mine. All mine. Mine. Thank you.
Nice.
And this movement is pretty swift. When out of nowhere, something grips the throat of this massive snake form you've become, and bursting up through the sand higher and higher, you find yourself in the grip of a hand that's easily the size of this gigantic snake thing you've become, squeezing you incredibly tightly as it rises up and up out of the sand, formed from the sand.
Guys!
Sand just dripping away from it as it pulls up.
Change your form!
And yes, you are being strangled.
Change your form!
I'm assuming rolling for initiative.
Yes,
is
we
the thing
will
to
be
do.
rolling for initiative. Best get creative.
Oh, is it the dots at the bottom, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. 15. Plus
15?
6. No, plus 6.
21 then.
Yeah.
21 for Skinwalker.
I got 15.
15 for Bombshell.
What I got last time?
20.
Wow. Again, you guys are really, really fast. Now, because they happen to be in the store, I am really going to just straight off the bat
Oh, God.
screw all of you
Oh,
on
God.
this one. And I'm going to do two things, too, at the same time we're
Oh.
both in that store,
Oh,
because I
God.
really feel like making you work for it today,
Oh,
since there's
God.
only 3 of you. We're not only going to melt down,
Oh,
but
God.
I'm going to make you rule of cool with each other's avatars when we
Oh,
melt
cool.
down.
Oh,
Not like I know what's going on, or
quick, give me those sheets.
And being as there's only 3 of you, there's not really a whole lot we can do as far as who gets what
So
sheet.
Where the
this
other?
way
Yep,
or
so-
this
Where do you
way?
want to go?
That-
Huh?
or that goes there. That goes there. A circle.
Okay.
Right?
All right, I like that one. That one
Say that
works. Okay.
Okay. Oh my god.
Now, because Bombshell got the lowest,
Yes. Oh, right. I have to go first.
Do you want my jacket?
yes, I
No,
want
it's cool.
you. I didn't know you were making dinner, AK. What do you want me to do?
You gotta warn him.
Nah. That takes the
Okay.
fun out of it. So I want to
So
start over there
that's
on that
Skinwalker.
side of the table. And even though we've swapped avatars, you're going to keep your initiative rolls. So
Oh geez.
that will mean I need from you first. Formerly Bombshell, currently Cicero. What would your rule of cool be?
All right. I, as Atlantean noble, diplomat, and battle leader, and ace pilot,
Cicero to Squire.
Cis.
Primarch Cicero to Squire. Why would you drop titles without the name? That makes no sense.
Okay, so I am Cicero to Squire, Atlantean noble. What? Did I get it right? What am I doing?
Cicero.
Oh, okay, so I start at the top. Sorry. So sorry. Let me refresh.
I love you.
I, Primarch Cicero to Squire, Atlantean noble, diplomat, battle leader, and expert pilot, will take my fabulous Poseidon trident, right? Okay, I will take my fabulous Poseidon trident and I will draw a fiery line up the arm like thus. Go like twirly like this, and then wrap around one of the fingers, kind of like one of those like rings that pop stars wear that have like chains that are all attached to all the everything. Like it's like a super bling. I'm making super bling such that we can like climb up the rings that I have made, and it will be a vessel of containment and acrobatics.
So you partially glassifying the hand?
Yes. In an artistic way.
What part of the hand?
All of it, from the elbow up.
It's glass? Or
Yes.
glass?
Like ringlets. Like picture just like metal wrapping around it, but it's glass.
And then
Not you. Just the finger. Like I'm trying to straighten out the hand so that it lets you go.
oh, okay.
So I'm like a cast would make it straight, but let you go.
Okay.
Or him go.
Yes.
That is my plan.
Okay.
But it's gonna be pretty. Because Atlanteans have an affinity for art that is unsurpassed in any other society.
It's true, we invented it.
We invented art. All of it.
It's a real bitch to do it underwater for a while there.
Glass blowing is difficult underwater, yes, but I have perfected it anyway.
Last one we figured out was origami.
Because the paper kept getting soggy?
Yes.
Sometimes it helps with the creases, though, and you're like,
It's true. Fire blowing also, not their glass blowing.
right. It
Oh,
cools
Lord.
rapidly, however.
Okay, so I got the next one.
You do have to go next.
Okay. So, Skinwalker. So it can change in any form. Skinwalker is about 6'5" right now. How big is this hand?
No, it was
Um,
8 foot.
She's about
8
8
foot.
feet right now. This hand, the hand itself is probably from the base of the wrist to the top of the fingers, 35 feet, 40 feet.
And it is now pretty.
Well, that's good. Or will be after all this, because you're going to be classifying it.
Right. It would look like. But with glass.
Oh!
To unclench you.
Thanks.
It's a hand, right?
Yes,
It's a full-fledged hand.
full-fledged
It's
hand,
like
made of sand.
Sand hand going on here.
Sand hand.
Sand's dripping off like the thing.
Yes.
Mr.
Um,
Sandhand.
Beep, bop, bop.
There's some really, really bad jokes we could go into that we're not going to go into that I have already done in my head, millions of them, and I really want to do, but I'm not going to.
We appreciate your restraint.
I'll sing for you. No,
Well, I mean, honestly, so the problem right now is that the hand is just strangling, right?
Well, strangling. Skinwalker, which is you.
Which
Yes.
is me right now.
Yes.
So
Strangling you at the moment,
so
in
I-
the form of a giant snake.
Yeah, so I think the best thing to do right now would be to take. Oh, there's only one hand.
Seems to be. Just a hand.
What, two
Connected to
hands?
That'd be worse.
It'd be easier. Now I know what to do with this two hands. In that case, I will change.
Yep, that's one of them.
Where is that?
Oh, no. We're
There you
just
go.
gonna...
I think what I will do then is just change. Well, no, it's so simple, but for a rule of cool, it's not really the coolest. I would like to change. I'm sorry, I've never used Skinwalker before, and I'm trying to stall it blatantly. I'm gonna blame the train. I can't hear you. I can't hear you, James.
Yes, I can't hear you either. What are you
I can't
What are
hear
you
you.
explaining to me over there? I can't hear you, Odie. You're gonna have to speak up.
Try to make something cooler than glass jewelry. Shapeshift.
Yeah, I'm gonna shapeshift. I'm going to shapeshift. I'm just trying to figure out what to shapeshift into.
A germ.
This is not sword in the stone.
But it's the best
That would be
one.
one
Christian wins
huge
the internet.
actor.
What did he say?
How's
Please
Christian
keep
gonna
Brendan
win?
Fraser away from my franchise. Awesome. I didn't even think about that. That's a great reference.
Shapeshift into Brendan Fraser. That's not Christian.
Me too. No, I think what I would like to shapeshift into is a large sliver.
Ooh!
A very large
A
sliver.
very large sliver.
Yep.
That's-
That'll hurt.
You know, that might not tip the scales of cool, but it certainly tips the scales of mean. And way to break the game, because you notice there's nothing on that sheet about rolling dice for changing her shape.
Mhm. And slivers don't breathe, so I
So
can't be
both-
strangled in this form.
Both congratulations and screw you. What would your rule of cool be, since he's going to exploit the system?
After we get some more hot water, I'll be right back.
Well, right now, I am in the forest with my comrade. We are riding a giant snake, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so while we are doing that and we are riding the giant snake, what I would like to propose is that I would break into swarm form, becoming all of the different hundreds of
Nanowasps.
nanowasps, to then back up and then fly at top speed towards the sand fist, breaking up each different particle of sand, loosening the grip, dropping us safely to the ground, because as I break up the sand particles, I then fly around to form a soft nanowasp cloud to gently lower all of my friends to the ground in Finn.
Approved.
And that was what I was laughing about for the record. That.
The hat.
Yeah, I couldn't help myself.
She looks like
I was looking over here. You started your, and then I looked over. It was it.
Yeah, I'll echo that. I was also very amused by that when I looked at it.
I went from nothing to that, and
Do you like how I look?
you look fantastic.
Thank you. I like looking fantastic.
Yes, she does.
I feel
And
like
they are
I could-
recording the votes right
Oh,
now.
I was gonna say, I feel like I could look like Missy Elliott in her newest music video.
You
With
can't.
the stripes
You
and
can
the
look
silver.
like anything you want.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yes, I like that. Wait, are you like a skinwalker too?
No, I can. My nanowasps can go anything. I could be anything.
Oh man, we're really.
We're very similar.
That's very awesome.
Yeah, it's almost like someone tried to make you.
With Skinwalker?
No, the other way around.
I can also steal people's powers. Can you do that?
I mean, I could just look like them.
Oh,
No, I can't.
yeah, I can steal up to 5. And
I
I can have
can't.
any skills I want.
What are you looking at me for?
I can only replicate how they look.
Yeah, I can, like, I send a nanowasp out, and I'm like, ah, I'm gonna take that. Thanks.
Oh man, that is cool.
It's creepy.
It's creepy.
It's really creepy.
I mean, I like my nanowasp. They are very helpful.
They are. They're
Poll closed. Winner will be Jenika.
Woohoo!
Jams breaking to Chris's jams. Dabadi dabadi aa, 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 dabadi dabadi aa. Hashtag system shock.
Oh no!
Thanks for the dance break.
Thank you. Thank you.
That wasn't Bombshell. That was Sarah talking about stealing powers. Sorry.
No, but if you'd like to, she could read the part from the sheet, but later, or yeah, actually, you have Christian in chat, and he can tell you the exact wording of it.
Of my powers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I-
Exactly as they read on that sheet.
Yeah.
There have been many discussions over it, but it is not so important as they have decided that you have won with bondage.
You
Now,
like my
it
glass
won't matter
jewelry.
because skinwalkers, which they're attempting, requires no dice roll. They're only changing shape.
I could still make pretty jewelry.
Oh, yours is the success. So
Okay.
they voted for you. Yours is going to. So you are the only person that actually has to roll dice on this rule of cool. Because you're the only one that didn't get voted for and didn't find a way to cheat the rules. And yeah, I'm not going to let that go.
Keep using this word cheat. I do not think
So
it
I
means what
still
you think
have
it
to
means.
roll.
Mostly I'm using it because it is exactly something that I would do. And therefore, I both respect and hate it.
I fully expected you to make me roll anyway. So.
We'll get to that. Don't worry. So you are the honest control. So what you were talking about doing, you're going to need to make a roll point. You notice that her skills look a little different than yours. So just that's the number for you for rolling against.
Because you can have any skill you want.
Because
I'm
whatever it
weak.
is, it just becomes that. You have whatever skill is relative that you need.
So I,
Now, I have a question because this is not quite my regular form. Do I get my regular buff?
Your buff is dependent upon the pilot, which
You.
in your case is
Is still me.
Maddox.
So, could I potentially use my buff and do a roll better than his, which was
But in this
non-existent?
case, because his not existing, you would want the auto success would be the person you would select because you would be doing better than the person who got voted for by chat. This is you now exploiting the rules. So just to be clear, you have exploited the rules, and now you have exploited the rules, and I could not be more resentful and proud at the same time.
Well, I do not want to feel left out, and so I'm going to use my buff, and so I win too. And so,
That's
once
an
again,
awesome buff.
we all win.
So using your buff, you are able to take her automatic critical success, and you count as though you had rolled one higher than an automatic critical
say,
success.
what is this? Oh,
And I'm
it
not
doesn't
even
matter.
sure what that is other than being an automatic critical
Two
success.
automatic critical successes.
it's a
So it,
negative.
it ends up happening on this hand as you are driving it apart and rescuing your friends. The the majority of the hand you disperse with these powers,
Did
while
I make the jewelry?
simultaneously the line stays, but only the jewelry line that you
So
have
it's like a
created.
skeleton
So
of
only that
beautiful
part is still
jewelry.
there, sticking up, motionless,
Nice.
out of the sand, whereas everyone else has been caught, including an enormous splinter.
Witness the Atlantean artistic quality of this sculpture.
Witness.
I'm gonna witness that sliver and go nowhere near it and just witness it.
You look like an astronaut on a low-budget 60s sci-fi show.
Thanks!
I'm loving it. Every time I look over there.
Wrap her in duct tape, it'll be fine.
Thanks.
And with this hand freezing, the motion of these dunes grows still. No longer like waves rolling.
So how did you freeze it?
The nanowasps took little bits of sand.
Oh,
They
sweet.
they punched every grain of sand in the face.
Individually on
Individually.
a tiny
It was a
level.
very microscopic but epic battle.
And then my cloud lowered the sliver to the ground once it was done. Correct?
That was remarkably well done. But those
Well, it actually,
exploitation
like
of
Chat
rules.
was just figuring out, it actually worked better because you won the vote. Because then that allowed you to one up it.
That is
I could take advantage of
Good
the
job,
shape
Chat.
change loophole.
That might very well have been the most cheater rule of cool ever.
The word is gamer.
I like mine better. Beyond where these waves were before you is a site that was not there before. It's a beautiful oasis amid the barren landscape, lush vegetation possibly surrounding this water source. Arrayed around it by the hundreds are perfect carved sandstone statues, animals, landscapes, plants, historical figures, the Eiffel Tower, Statue of Liberty, and just random
Did you say
things.
water?
Wait.
Because I,
Say this
Primarch
again.
Cicero, Tesquai, Atlantean noble diplomat, battle leader, and expert pilot, know a lot about water.
Yes, you do. But yes, you see this oasis before you,
great.
surrounded.
Very proud of you. But you said there was topiary art?
Yes, but made of sandstone, and you can pass the. Yeah.
Okay, so it's not topiary art because it's
No.
sandstone. Okay.
It's sandstone.
Chris hates
I
topiary.
Statues.
hate
You do go
topiary art. I literally hate topiary art.
I too hate topiary.
Really?
Yeah.
I
It
ne-
really bothers
It
me.
really, it's a plant.
Okay, and well, so I can join my others.
Give it some respect.
I'm now 8-foot Maddox again.
I love it.
I actually hate topiary for the same reason. It's
Why?
cruelty.
It's cruel.
Plant cruelty.
Plants.
Let the plant have some self-respect.
Sandstone in water? I'm sorry. I was very lost at what you described.
Beyond where these waves were is a beautiful oasis amid the barren landscape.
Yeah.
Lush vegetation impossibly surrounds this water source. Arrayed around it by the hundreds are perfectly carved sandstone statues.
Got it.
Animals, landscapes, plants, historical figures, historical places, random strange sculptures of unknown things, 4 blocks arrayed together. Just all kinds of things.
Are there more sandstones
Hundreds
that
of them.
I may carve, as I have improved my artistic ability with the clay people when I drew faces?
There is no raw sandstone, but you could modify any of these as you see fit.
What do you think? Should I put flowers on this one?
On which one?
That one.
What is it? What's she pointing to? Which one?
It's a small statue of a boy, it looks like.
A small boy?
Maybe a watering can.
Oh.
It
Is there any
moves.
sign that any of these were...
It moves? Hello, little boy. Would you like a watering can?
What's a watering can?
It waters things.
Okay,
This is sandstone talking to us?
seemingly.
Here you
A
go.
really beautiful, perfect, carving of little, somebody took a tremendous amount of time in every little
Like
minor
Medusa
detail.
turned to stone kind of
Yeah.
perfect card?
Like that good.
Are all these things formerly living things? You said some were buildings.
So some are 6-foot tall replica of the Statue of Liberty or the Eiffel Tower. A miniature Mount Rushmore little carving. It's 3 or 4 feet tall. Other ones, the Golden Gate Bridge. Just all kinds of random places, people, things. Elephants, a tiger. None of them necessarily to scale. The boy is probably one of the closest of 2-scale things.
Boy, do you have a name?
I think I did once.
Do you remember it?
I don't think so.
What if you thought really hard? Sometimes it takes me a while to think of things.
I think I forgot.
Do you remember anything?
Here. I remember here.
This place?
Yeah, there was lots of memories here. But I think they forgot too.
The memories forgot?
Yeah, we forgot.
Can you define we, small child, made of sandstone?
All of us. We forgot.
The buildings forgot. Can you explain that?
I don't know. They forgot.
Buildings were sentient.
Well, I guess we all used to just be here, and he'd come and see us, and we'd talk.
He? Who is he?
I don't really know. He used to come. He'd sit over there and he'd
Interesting.
watch us.
What did he?
It was a long time ago, I think, but I'm not really sure about time. I don't understand it.
What did he look like?
I'm gonna go over to the spot that he pointed and nano-wasp investigate the area.
Just sand.
Okay.
I don't think I understand it. You just sit and watch, and then go. But I haven't seen
Did
it.
he have a face?
He had a red hood. He had a red hood.
That was it.
Yeah. Yeah, he would just sit and he would watch.
Did he speak?
No.
How did you know he was a he?
I just knew, I guess.
Interesting.
It's funny you asked me. I don't know. I just knew.
You ever seen a spire around here anywhere?
Oh, the big tower. Yeah, I've
Yes.
seen it.
Yes.
It was over there, but you can't see it anymore. I don't know why.
When did it go?
I just couldn't see it anymore one day.
Which day was that?
How many
Time
suns?
is
How many
fun.
suns have gone by since it went away?
I don't know how to count.
Okay, this many?
I don't know.
This many?
I don't know.
More? This many?
More.
This many?
I think more. I don't know more.
Okay.
Lots.
Lots. So it has been maybe 2 weeks,
Lots of time.
maybe a
But
month.
time is. I don't understand time.
It's just counting suns.
Do you have a name?
I think I did.
He does not remember.
I should have-
He has a very long name.
It's true, you may borrow part of it. Your name is
Okay.
now Pilot.
Okay. I like that. Pilot.
Pilot, do you talk to everyone else here?
We used to.
You don't talk to each other?
I think they forgot. Now they just sit there.
Do you want to try?
They won't work.
How do you
I
know?
already did.
May I try?
They forgot.
Hello?
It's a
Hello?
perfect sandstone carving. You happen to be looking at a horse carving. It's
I
not
make-
adequate to size. It's
I make a carrot
okay.
out of nano-wasps.
Not a thing. It does not even twitch.
Bombshell, I don't suppose there's any part of you that is in touch with another element of your personality.
I could be.
It's possible that the
You know, I kind of want people to be, and I happen to be able to do that right now. I just noticed I have a fun toy in the store that's my favorite toy you got. I don't know who got it for me, but thank you, chat. System Shock, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we're rolling then? Or you're
Oh,
rolling?
I'm going
You'll
to be doing this,
roll.
and we're going to start right over here. We're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You are going to move 1 over towards your avatar, Mr.
Pilot.
Wells.
You mean pilot, right? Because I was all avatar, so I'm
Talking
just
to
right
No,
here.
Mr. Wells
Oh,
first.
so sorry.
You will be moving 1, 2, 3, exactly into your center between the
Okay.
two of them.
Alright.
And on this side of the table, you're going to cross directly over to the opposite end of the spectrum.
Oh,
You will be
sweet Moses.
full pilot. Thank you.
given the situation at hand, Jenika, I think it may be wise for you to use some of your psychological skills to see if you can determine what is wrong with this boy, child, thing, made of stone, sandstone, this person.
You understand that this type of therapy does not happen instantaneously.
I was hoping if you rolled well enough, it might.
Can I, now that I'm Maddox, kind of go back in my brain to, what was his name? The Disturber? The nightmare guy. What was his name?
Harvester.
Harvester, that was his name. And we were with 3 kids, and we were trying to find 3 kids.
You did find 3
And
kids.
I'm thinking really hard, and I'm trying to remember everyone's names.
All 3 of the children you rescued have no resemblance to this sandstone carving whatsoever.
Okay.
I'm going to use a meta point.
Meta point.
And still be able to be a little bit Jenika. Wait, no, I don't want to use meta point.
Oh, don't use a meta point. Okay.
Oh,
Oh, they've used one for you.
I'm going to use moment clarity instead.
Use a moment of clarity, not a meta point. I'm sorry, Store.
Sorry, Store. I love you. I wish I could make more decisions correctly and with.
A moment of clarity to do. What are we doing?
I would like to use some psychiatry on the tiny child and see what happens,
All right, here at the very least attempt to analyze the boy.
and maybe help him and give him some kind of comfort. I beat that by 7.
That is quite the success. Within a few moments of conversation with him, you are pretty sure that he is not a boy at all. Perhaps an automaton, a creation. His responses
doesn't
are
have,
very
like, a
limited.
soul.
His responses are very limited.
Can I provide him any kind of comfort that he would like?
If anything, you were to guess that his memory he talks about having is somebody else's, perhaps.
Huh. Okay.
Perhaps these are all living embodiments of memories.
Okay.
Current ones.
What all do we see here?
All kinds of animals. The majority of stuff is you're noticing, particularly, very foreign to Cicero, but not so much to Thomas, is all stuff from before the dome, before the cataclysms, before the classic 20th century sort of things.
And we still don't know where the spire is.
He pointed where it was, and she has a idea of where it should be, but there's nothing that you can physically see that is there.
Well, as fascinating as this location is, there is a part of me that thinks perhaps what we should do is spend only a modicum of time here before we move on to our ultimate destination, which is supposed to be that spire.
Well,
Which is supposed to be here.
My
It's supposed to be
understanding is
that
that it
way.
was supposed to be off in that direction with this
How far?
child.
I thought you
You
said
have
it was
covered
like
some
right over
distance, so you're probably less than 15 miles from where your previous pinpoint location of where it would be.
I mean, we could go and check it out, and if we don't find anything, we can come back here to pilot and continue to go down this rabbit hole.
there. Okay.
oases are often used as lures for travelers in literature.
The water, is it close?
It's a little oasis. It's right there. Then the
I'm-
little boy was sitting at the edge of it when you guys came up.
I'm
So
gonna
you're very
go up
close.
to the water and
Okay.
just feel it and kind of like rinse my hands.
It's really, really warm because of the ambient temperature.
Okay, because I'm in a desert, I'm gonna take some and splash my face.
It's
Just
really
to-
refreshing.
Yeah, just to splash it and clean it off a little bit.
It's really refreshing.
Anytime
Really
you need to
nice.
clean your face,
I do
bombshell
believe
can
I'd
help.
like to dunk my head into it for quite a while.
It is marvelous. Fresh water, not salt water, unfortunately. But beggars can't be
Poor
choosers.
man's pond.
Unleaded, as it were.
At least on the plus end, as far as fresh water goes, it is remarkably clean.
Ah,
Is there any fruit, food, vegetable around that's
There's
growing
some-
around the pond?
There's some
or
various desert plants growing around it. Nothing spectacular.
nothing edible?
No. Well, I suppose you could.
brings us back to what you were talking about earlier.
I mean, theoretically, there's theoretically edible, and then traditionally consumed. No, there is nothing that is traditionally consumed by humans.
Okay.
I gotta say, I really like Fulpus's comment. It was then that they knew that the spire was inside them all along.
If you're just no, I'm not going to do that one. You know exactly what that was. I saw that.
So I guess we're just leaving all of this.
We will be back, pilot.
Okay. I'll be here unless I forget to.
Would you like to come with us?
Okay.
I was gonna say, why are you the only one that talks? I don't. There's other people. Why are you the only one talking?
I think they forgot.
Can I go up to the Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, it's really like small comparatively.
Well,
to the
I
real
know,
one.
but they still got faces.
Yeah, all the faces right there.
And they're not real, like, and I'm like, hello.
I tried to talk to the horse. It did not work.
Well, the horses don't. I mean, can you speak horse?
I did. Did you not hear?
I mean, I saw you imitate. Was that real horse speak? Can you speak horse?
I probably could if I
She
learned.
I know you.
She has a rather thick accent.
Skinwalker walks over to this Mount Rushmore and starts speaking to the Mount Rushmore faces, and there's not a single response. But it's kind of hysterical to watch.
While they're doing their thing, Cicero is going to Primarch Cicero Squire, Atlantean noble, diplomat, battle leader, and expert.
Because it's not pilot anymore.
Correct. It's been loaned to pilot. Would like to take a moment to recreate or change some of this technology to create a force field protective device for young pilot in the event that pilot comes with us.
Excellently done. You create. Or not.
I'll just try again.
Yeah. Your first attempt is not so good.
By 4.
Your first attempt, you were considering dealing with something of a more organic nature, and
Yes.
then had to reconstruct the object again based on the fact you're dealing with a statue. And you rig up a small device to place on
Rookie
it.
mistake, check mark for me.
Have you used your artistic abilities to?
I did not give him the water pitcher.
No, you didn't. But is there? Because you were saying carving more into one of the sandstones. Because I'm guessing are these statues like absolutely complete, or are there places where we can carve more?
You would need sandstone.
Well, I'm saying there's these they're here.
There's no like block. You could carve one of the ones that's already a statue into
Yeah.
something else.
I could give Mount Rushmore bodies.
So that we have little tiny presidents.
Yeah.
With us, can we?
Well, the heads are really big. It would. Be,
I know there'd be like bobblehead presidents.
Yeah, at best.
At the running of the presidents at the Washington Nationals ballpark.
Right.
Teddy Roosevelt's gonna fall over and lose every match.
Ready to go? I can hang on to him.
I can't think of any way that this will go poorly for us. Do it. You should do it.
All right. Can we make the presidents into full bodies instead of just heads?
Yes, I beat it by 3.
It takes a little bit of time, but using your wasps, you're actually rather faster because you can spread out, and you make this really disturbing looking, like single piece, but with all the legs and bodies underneath it, like connected bobblehead thing, and it's kind of grotesque.
I think disturbing is a little subjective. I think it's wonderful.
Well, thank you.
I think it's wonderful, and I'm excited that we have tiny presidents with them. With us. Are they active yet? Or I'm still trying to talk to them.
Not a thing.
Let's take pilot with us.
I'm
try to find the
taking
spire.
the tiny presidents too. No, I'm not. No, that's it. Well, I'm really tempted.
How heavy are they?
You carved off a lot of the weight, so maybe 200 pounds?
I can carry that.
Do you want to though?
It does not hurt me.
Modifying the force field for the dead presidents.
Dead president's force field as well.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Right. At that, you venture off from the oasis into the desert. As you take a few steps out, the boy and the dead presidents crumble away into just sand.
Oh, shit.
But then as they're like streaking backwards towards this oasis, they hit the inside of these force fields and then just swirling sand inside of force fields.
If we let the force field go, would they go back to the oasis?
Knock it down, or
Can we do it real
deactivate
quick?
See what happens?
You deactivate the sand goes right back in the oasis, a perfect, not modified for your carvings, Mount Rushmore. miniature reforms, and the little boy reforms, sitting right next to
Is
the
it safe to
Oasis.
say, young man, that you have no recollection of who we are?
Who are you guys?
Excellent. Your name is Pilot. We will be back.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was fun.
It was a little sad.
It is. I don't understand why he's the only one that talks.
Maybe we will find out later.
It's more heartbreaking that way.
What?
So the spire should be over here.
Looking back, you can actually now see a spire now that you've walked away from this oasis. It's right there.
How close are we?
Maybe 5 miles tops.
How do you two feel right now?
Uncomfortable.
Got it.
It's not as bad as before.
Well, we're still kind of far. I am going to use. Oh gosh. Do you guys? Nah, I'm using them. Boom. All the way.
I love it when we
1,
use
2, 3, 4.
4 meta points down.
I'm using them. I just, if this is anything like last time. Oh.
And what will you be?
Oh, I'm still just 8-foot Maddox.
Okay.
She is still quite substantial.
If I go into swarm form, is my uncomfortableness still uncomfortable?
Still very. It's really strange to you because it's not a feeling you've ever. Feelings in general aren't something that are a familiarity to you, but it's most certainly.
Jenika is immune to like psychological attacks.
Correct.
So does Jenika feel anything?
Very much so. Just as uncomfortable.
All right.
Keep communicating your comfort levels as we continue towards.
And while it is bad, it's distinctly less.
Currently
than when you
feel
went
mildly
towards Iceland.
anxious.
It's distinctly less than when you attempted to assault the spire in Iceland. Like,
Breathe in.
Distinctly less.
For 5 seconds, and then breathe out for 10. This helps relieve anxiety.
I ran out of air early.
You have to ration it.
Oh wait, I'm not anxious. I'm
No,
fine.
you're fine. It doesn't bother you at all.
It's just we're a team effort, right?
See, if you're lightheaded, you can't
Can you
be
blow
anxious.
for 10 seconds? Are you still having trouble with it?
Not. I.
Now they're just breaking each other.
That's done.
Mm-hmm.
Could we have a loot box filled with anti-anxiety meds?
I think we
Loot
should
box
wait
full
on
of
loot
anxiety.
boxes. I think we should wait on loot boxes.
Waiting
I
on
think-
loot boxing?
I
Okay.
think things are gonna go
I'm
sideways.
pretty
for us
sure
a
I'm
bit.
just standing right here.
Okay. Excellent. You continue to get closer and closer towards this spire, and that feeling of discomfort doesn't go away, but very much importantly, is distinctly less. It's more just being really uncomfortable, whereas when you attempted to approach Iceland, you reached a point where
We had to turn
you
back.
said turn around and go away. You could not. And this is just really, really uncomfortable.
I'm an Atlantean. These pants are quite tight, and I'm always really uncomfortable.
This is so. And you also show your discomfort less than most others do. It is at this point approaching that several of these hands that you saw previously, this huge thing, except they're more man-sized, begin rising from the ground all around you in a ring.
Creepy.
In a ring.
A ring.
I'm gonna use
of
my
them.
force field so that I have 50.
You light up
I light up.
brilliantly. And then let us roll some initiative.
So smart.
It was really moments early, the perfect call on that loot box thing. Yeah. You were right about to get into a whole bunch of trouble. It's almost like you can see the pieces of paper that are in front of me.
I actually didn't even bother to look there. I just found out what happened last time.
Ooh, can I use Jenika's initiative? Can I use Jenika's initiative?
You are in the middle, so
in the
use
middle.
either or.
Use what makes you happy.
I've got 14 over here.
No.
21.
21.
Nice.
13.
13. Ooh, I'll actually beat one of the pilots for once.
Sorry.
Oh, that's just you? Oh, wait, 5.
That's just the sound software crashing.
Ah, okay. Here we were thinking we were getting new toys to work with.
Right.
Okay. And for Skinwalker?
17.
Skinwalker is a 17.
That
All
was
right.
my best. It's sad.
That is going to put you first, my Atlantean friend. These hands most certainly look hostile.
How many of these hands are there?
And a ring around you, that would be 15. These are substantially smaller than the giant one which held the snake thing earlier.
He did not.
What?
I love that.
He did not.
Oh, for
he
Skinwalker.
did.
Is that Christian?
Yes, that's Christian.
That was awesome. Oh, that was funny. I'm remembering that.
What is? We're not there yet. I don't remember what Thomas.
I'm turning into
ability
that.
is.
I'm picturing like this little like
Ink of skin, just kind of like. Beep, beep, beep.
oh yes.
Well, uniquely enough, the boosted abilities for this side of the table are identical.
Huh?
No,
Oh,
we
do
haven't
we
gotten
have
there
boosted
yet.
abilities?
No,
When do you
we
get them?
don't, but I'm just trying to remember what they are.
Oh, okay.
Or do we not know what they are?
Both yourself, you have the same as Crash and Rosie, which is any avatar's ability that you have.
Anything you want to do.
You may access any previous that is unique towards
That's right.
certain members of cast, which include you. I am not going to explain why certain people can do that and certain people cannot just yet.
My boosted ability is shapeshifting, right?
Yours is right there, written on your sheet.
Anyway, yeah, so it's already what I
Yep,
can
that's
do.
that, this is very specific though. There's one thing to replicate something. There's another thing to be an exact
Yeah.
duplicate of something, which is what that allows one to be.
That's cool. Powers
and
and all.
everything.
It's again appearance based, but you can replicate a lot of what people can do with some
How
powers
did I
on
not
their
notice
own.
that?
They just don't
So-
realize it's not powers. And
Okay. Okay.
certain things you can't, like you can't make lightning shoot from your hands unless you have a device, but you've been known to do tricky things like conceal technological devices within your person to make it look like you do all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Skinwalker is a master at fooling people.
Yeah.
Always has been.
Okay.
So I just realized that I have 3 attacks per round.
You do have 3
I've
attacks
never
per
played a
round.
character with multiple attacks before, so I didn't.
He is
even
a
bother
battle
to look
leader,
at that
which means that
section.
he is very capable of
Yes.
beating the crap out of a lot
So
of people.
now that I have realized this, I shall pull out my force gun again, fire 3 times at 3 different targets. I hit twice, and my third was a critical.
Critical inflicts twice the listed damage that you have
So
done.
40, 40, and 80 points of
40,
damage
40,
to 3
and
of the
80.
hands, with a knockdown effect on all of them.
2 of the hands are knocked down, and many of the fingers are much shrunk, and one of the hands is entirely dissipated by the force blast.
Excellent.
The other 2 that were damaged are a little more than stubs of fingers and part of a palm. Which still leaves 12 completely, fully functional of these sandy hands. I kind of liked what I saw there earlier. When we go to Skinwalker, who will be next?
Okay. And the 12, you said are just normal, like
They're
this size.
about 6 feet off the ground
that's-
tops, you know, but comparatively to the 100+ foot one, much, much smaller. They're all smaller than you.
And you said that there's 6.
There are 12 fully functioning, 2 that
Oh,
are
12.
missing bits, and 1
There's
that has
12
been
left.
annihilated.
So 12 left.
Yes. Well, 14, but 2 of them are mangled, barely left.
Cool. So with them being a smaller size and me being bigger than normal, I'm gonna try and see how big we can get me. But I want to know how many of their size hands I can turn into.
Well, you
3,
must
4.
be one solid. You can't separate into multiple beings.
Oh, it'll be like an artery that connects each hand.
I believe with all these hands surrounding the party, the Primarch needs a buff to shake hands. Hashtag Thomas buff. Also, here is a handy buff for Bombshell. Hashtag Jenika buff.
Thank you very much, Chad.
Thank you, chat. Wow, thank you guys.
What am I gonna do with it?
Yes. Does
You
that
could
work?
probably make
I
5
like
or
different
6
idea,
of them
but I like that too. It's
connected
very funny.
if you spread your mass out.
Is there 5 or 6 of them together in the ring?
There are 12 of them around you.
I know, but there's some that have been eliminated.
Uh,
Like, because I know
there's
that
sca-
would leave
there's-
little pockets.
There's one little grouping of 3 where one is completely gone. So there's one little gap in the ring, and that's about it.
Okay, well then I'm gonna go to a gap or a group that has like 5. You said 5 or 6?
Okay.
Okay, well I'm gonna say 6 because you.
Just explain to me what you're doing here.
I am going to replicate the hands.
Okay.
And I'm gonna, if they're up here, then I'm gonna replicate the row of hands and just hold hands with them.
All right. Because there are 5 of them, I'm gonna need
How
to
many
give
of
you.
those? How many of these?
Yeah, I'm
can I
gonna give
make?
you a multi-action penalty for your fighting check that you're going to make on
I'll
this.
take it.
So you're gonna be making 5 fighting checks at a -4.
Oh.
But 5 fighting checks at a -4 penalty. So add 4 to the dice rolls that you make on each of them and roll against your fighting score.
Okay.
Now you're all the way in, so you use the smallest dice.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Fighting is 15.
So
But I'm
you
not
need-
fighting. I just want to point that out.
I realize that.
I'm holding hands.
Well, it's either that or athletics, and both of them have the exact same number. So
This. Okay.
let's just go with it.
I'm athletically
Either way, you
inclined
need to
hold
roll
hands.
less than an 11
Okay, on each roll.
on each roll, and anyone you do not is not a success. Anyone you do is a success.
Okay. I'm doing it. Oh dear God, that was 12.
Okay. 1. Not a success. Number 2.
Oh my God,
Also
that
a 12.
was 12.
Not a success. Still 3 to go. Number 3 is definitely a success.
That's a 1.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Number
That's an
4
8.
is a success. So 2 have you succeeded. And number 5 is also a success.
So
in
yes.
3 cases,
Nice.
you grab hold of these hands, and as long as you are maintaining this hold, they are immobilized.
Okay,
So there are 3
I have 3 hands.
that are immobilized, and they will not be able to act because they cannot match your physical strength.
Cool,
Nice work.
cool. 3 hands.
That puts it
More
to
than
me.
not.
So I'm going to have 9 that are still physically capable of making attacks, of which I'm going to be making 5.
how many were there to start
4,
off with?
15.
15. Okay.
I'm going to be making 5 attacks on Bombshell and 4 attacks on the Atlantean. For Bombshell, I have 1 success by 5. What is your dodge?
2.
2. So that will succeed. 1 fail. 1 success by 2, which is a fail because of your dodge. 1 success exact on, which is a fail because of your dodge. And 1 success by 1, which is a fail because so I have 1 that actually hits.
Okay.
And on the Atlantean, what is your dodge, Atlantean?
How much?
6.
6. Ooh, that fails because that only succeeded by 5.
Yeah.
Succeeded by 6, so just barely. Failed. And last one, also a fail. So 1 success on each of you. In these cases, the hand rushes forward across the sand in the shape of a fist and slams into you for 20 points of damage.
All right.
Side note, while I'm holding hands, I'm gonna take one of my fingers and just like go like this to the inside of its palm.
To tickle it?
Yeah, I'm just doing that.
Do I have to use an action to
just doing that.
activate my force field?
No, the force field is active at
Oh,
all times
sweet.
unless you choose for it not to be.
And
That
if
would
I
be
notice any
silly.
gyration because it's a hand that laughs, I don't know how a hand laughs, but
It should also be noted that the force field is just above the area of the flesh and also continuously introduces atmosphere so that you may breathe safely underwater while using it.
Excellent.
It's been very, very important advancement in Atlantean technology that's been around for quite some time.
So I have an idea,
What is your idea?
and it's based on many skills that I have on multiple sheets, as I'm right in the
like
middle.
where this is
I
going.
like this.
You know how when you play rock, paper, scissors, you like smash the other person?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to make the hands play rock, paper, scissors, the ones that she's not holding.
Okay.
So I'd like to use psychology and diplomacy and sleight of hand, which I thought was funny. And
That's really funny, and so yeah, we're definitely going with that. I like that.
and I'd like to use those things to compel the hands to rock, paper, scissors each other and then bludgeon each other when they win. Like a tournament of rock, paper, scissors, one hand being the champion.
Are you betting on these hand fights? Slap boxing.
Sure. Why not?
Okay, I might be slightly off, so let me see if I get this right. You want to use sleight of hand to slight these hands into smiting these hands?
Yes.
Okay.
That's awesome.
You say you want to use sleight of hand to incite these hands.
To smite these hands.
Yes.
That's amazing.
That is what I want. Yay, I get internet points.
Nice.
So, we will definitely use sleight of hand, most certainly.
Sure.
Either psychology, persuasion, whichever one of those skills you
Psychiatry,
find is
yeah.
relevant
Okay.
to it.
Yes.
And then some form of physical skill, I definitely think you should have to do as well.
Okay, so I would just use probably something.
Since it seems like someone is trying to create a new reality, and we do need that spire to come down, #cool and boosted.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chin.
All right.
Thank you, Pax.
So I would just use like bombshells. You know, she's strong and physical prowess. Yes?
Absolutely.
Okay, bombshell prowess.
Well, again, you can mimic any power up to rank 5, so you could mimic super strength.
Super strength.
So
Yeah.
you'd be rolling against a super strength body score of 20.
Okay. Sure. And I'd like to use some clarity, so I can use little dice.
All right, how many clarities are you using?
How many times do you need me to roll?
I need you to make the one physical check, the one psychology-based check, and the sleight of hand check. So I need 3 total checks from you.
I'm gonna use 3.
Oh, 3! Moment
Thank
of
you,
clarity is being used. Thank you, chat.
There you go. Thank you, chat.
All right. Yeah, beat something by 9.
Excellent.
Beat that by 3. And I beat that by 4.
Nice.
In the most dazzling display of super fast psychology, fast moves, and something that you would see in a game of like 3-card Monte on a street corner, Bombshell somehow gets these hands to engage in the most rapid fire Rochambeau tournament that you have ever seen.
That's hilarious.
And in the span of a moment, number 9 is the victor and the other 8 are destroyed.
Well done.
Does he seem happy? Is he giving a thumbs up?
Being it's a mindless entity, I'm not really sure about happy.
Well, what's it doing?
It's like,
Is it giving jazz hand?
Yes, it is doing jazz
Jazz
hands. Yeah, you can go ahead and do the jazz hands. I won't do them. I might do hand jives, but never jazz hands. Somebody was a cheerleading.
me?
It's not.
Mm.
Are you talking about me?
Somebody was. I knew one of you was.
Because I definitely auditioned twice and did not get on the team either
Rude.
time.
Our cheerleaders.
There's a little history.
We made fun of our cheerleaders. We were in the band, in like pep band, and like we would sit in our stands in the band spot, and the cheerleaders would always try to get like the crowd to be pumped up, and so they would come to our side and be like, and hold up the D for our DHS, and they'd be like D, and we're like D, and then nobody else did H or S because the parents did not care, and then they'd come back to us and we'd go D, and then we'd do D for like 15 minutes after the cheerleaders were done, and they were just kind of like, we hate you guys so much. We're like D, D.
Lot of D.
Lucky in Dixon.
My cheerleader
USA.
stories are not safe for the network.
Cheerleaders cheering for that D.
They all did.
With all but one of the hands either destroyed or in the case of immobilized, we move back to the top of the order with Cicero of Atlantis. There's one remaining of these hands that just won the most epic Rochambeau tournament, and 3 of them that seem to be locked in a very disturbing hand grip thing with Skinwalker.
Well, I do believe the one that was formerly a threat but is now the victor. To the victor goes the spoils. Spoils of war! I shall attack again with my force gun.
Excellently done. You may make up to 3 attacks, but
I'm going to hit and hit and hit.
there is absolutely nothing remaining of this hand by
Congratulations!
the end of it.
You win, Jeff.
What?
Congratulations, you win death.
Yes, you have
Look what
granted
you won.
this mindless object death. As we hop over to Skinwalker, you're still holding these 3. They are not strong enough to overpower you, but
Are they trying to?
Absolutely, but it's like overpowering a small animal. There's no way that it can resist you. But the instant you let go, you are certain they are going to continue their assault. It is only how long you wish to hold them.
Can I bring all the 3 hands together to make one bigger hand, and that one bigger hand can hold the 3 hands in my, like,
Are you going to try to absorb all of them against Skinwalker?
yeah.
All right. Roll just as you did previously against that body score.
Against the body score.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just the 2 dice against that body score.
I beat it by
6.
6.
You absorb these 3 hands you have immobilized. You're now about 13 feet tall or so in your form and close to about 800 pounds.
This is awesome.
You have 40 more temporary health.
Okay, wait. What? Wait, how? Okay, 200.
So you're at
I'm
exactly...
at 13 feet.
Uh-huh, and you have exactly equal temporary health to your normal health, correct?
Oh, well, I've been adding.
Yeah, so exactly equal, 100 and 100? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And how much do I weigh?
About 800 pounds.
I'd like to regenerate my force field in this intermission.
You most certainly can do so.
Baller. Baller.
Onward to the spire.
Yes, it is still before you, and now that you've removed these hands, it seems to be the last obstacle in your way. Reaching it it's just like the other one, geometric shaped, but now you're much closer than you have ever been before. It is absolutely perfect. You're able to like read the measurements with your every like down to the absolute millimeter. There is no variance in any of it. It is the perfect, molded, absolutely shaped. The order and symmetry to it is almost appealing on a
Except
certain
it's
level.
disgusting to us, right?
It is an uncomfortable area, but you have also noticed in the past several minutes that feeling of repulsion of not wanting to be here has almost drifted away entirely.
Can I touch it?
It's smooth.
So it doesn't like hurt me
Polished.
or make me cranky.
Not at all. Don't feel it. That feeling has just gotten less and less, and now it's not even there.
Is it a square-based
Spire.
pyramid?
Is what you're talking about?
The spire. Where's the spire? Is it a square-based pyramid? A triangular-based pyramid?
It's more. Just because I loved how he said it, hexagonal.
Hexagonal pyramid. Okay.
And you guys they don't feel anxious at all?
Not anymore. In the past several minutes, that has dropped off to nothing.
I'm
Gone.
greatly concerned at the lack of anxiety I'm feeling at present.
Just gone.
How am I feeling?
You never felt that anxiety, so you.
I know, and I still don't.
No. You
Can
don't
we
feel
touch
any
the
of it
spire?
at all.
I have touched it. It is smooth.
The trident crackles with energy when it touches it and leaves little scorch marks along where the points that it impacts it with. It is as though the two are opposed.
There's no big bad end guy making an appearance yet.
I do not know what you're talking about.
Well, in this case, I can only think of one thing to do.
Poke it with a stick.
Why? Marry a marshmallow.
Marry a marshmallow.
2 options, neither of which will be pretty.
Weddings are very pretty.
In mid-speech to you, facing you, 2 sword blades cut through the center of Bombshell's chest. 80 damage, Bombshell.
just two swords.
Two
come out of
sword
her?
blades just
Not
rip
come out of me, go through me.
through her, and
From the spire?
just seemingly where she was standing. She's just suddenly two sword blades coming through her, and
I did not make
as
those.
these blades are coming through, those little wasps that you've seen her sworn through, several dozen of them might come out of these wounds and just fall to the ground completely limp and lifeless from where these blades poked through.
Okay, ow, and then swarm form.
Let's do some initiative. There's a red cloaked figure behind Bombshell.
Red cloaked figure behind me that I have now been in swarm form. I am swarm form. I thought I used my buff. Did I not use my buff?
I used my buff, so.
She used hers. I thought that you used yours,
I
but
thought to do the shenanigans with
oh no, you did not.
I
Oh,
did
you
not.
You did not. You saved it. You still have your buff.
It actually turned out you didn't have to use anything to heal me either, because I didn't take as much
I have
damage as I
16.
thought.
Yep.
Oh, cool. So I'm swarm formed. I'm gonna.
You have initiative. Let's do some initiatives.
Oh, I'm sorry. One thing at a time.
His yet was the perfect timing.
Yeah.
I have 26.
14.
14 for Bombshell.
22.
22 for Cicero.
16.
And 16 for the Skinwalker. The Mirage will go first. I will continue to make attacks on Bombshell.
This thing is a mirage.
Well, it poked swords in me out of nowhere.
Well, you said the red cloak was behind her.
Mm-hmm.
The red
I saw
cloak
a red
guy
cloak.
from the little boy.
Very cloak poke.
Cloak poke.
Cloak poke.
You got a cloak poke. You
And
got a
we
double
are
poke.
going to do another 40 damage to Bombshell.
Okay.
I'm liking this.
Wait, where? Oh! Okay, hold on. Hold. I have to do math now. 20, 40, 60. Okay.
I would be dead if I were you.
Well,
And again, as that's sword blades, in this case only one is able to catch you.
Are you going
More and more of these little wasps fall
I forgot which number it was.
and collapse, hitting the ground from the
Because
wounds.
you're not swarm yet?
Please stop killing my wasps.
Cicero, you have a 22 and will be going next. This figure is humanoid-esque, red-cloaked, moving very, very quickly and using swords.
It's also spire, correct?
There's a spire here too, yes.
Annoyed greatly. Primarch Cicero, the squire, Latian noble diplomat, battle leader, and expert. He's annoyed.
I would expect so.
As such, I do believe it is a time for great action and a small speech. That was the speech.
Yes!
If I understand correctly, we have boosted abilities, and I also have a company man, and there's some other things going on. In this moment, I believe what I would like to do is to use Thomas's ability to, once per session, summon any non-unique item present in the metaverse.
What are we summoning?
I am going to summon a scroll of Mage's Disjunction.
A scroll of Mage's Disjunction.
I will then use my sorcerer skills to cast this on the spire, disjuncting it.
Like
Give
take
me a sorcery
I will do
check.
it at a. Let's see, we have no clarity, so I can't do that. That's
Alright.
fine. I will do it this way. That's a bugger.
Do you have a buff?
Oh, I will make it because. Wait, I have to have something I can do this with.
You might have something on the Thomas sheet that could help you, I believe.
If I have the skills. I think I will fail to use it in the first round. Oh, but I have another attack. I'll try to use it again.
You do have multiple attempts.
I will succeed on the next attempt.
All right, you read this scroll of disjunction. Which metaverse did it come from, just for the record? For fans at home.
It's the land of Faerun.
There, you heard it. It's real.
Marked.
You heard him. He said it. This scroll of disjunction, you read these magic words.
Actually,
about-
true. It would be from Fatherall, I suppose.
You might need some hashtag meta points.
Thank you, chat.
Thank you, chat.
I would agree. It would be from Fatherall.
You read this scroll, and the magic from it comes out and begins intertwining with this massive spire and slowly separating the elements that bind it together.
Excellent.
And as it is disjoined from this magic, it separates into perfect little shapes, much as the first one did. These tiny, tiny little geometric shapes. It just rains down. And as it does so, you can see that very, very high up at the top of this spire, there was like a platform that was not shaped like the rest of this, very smooth and with a humanoid figure lying upon it, and it is falling very, very, very rapidly. And because it is heavier, they've separated, and this humanoid figure is just falling limply above it.
It was also pointed out to me that it should actually be from Questlandia.
It should be from Questlandia.
That would be the more accurate.
That's really awesome. Good call.
So there is a body falling, is this correct?
There is a body falling. You have only used 2 of your 3 attacks.
Body is?
Roll against that notice so that you may identify it.
I will make it by 4.
It is definitely a human and definitely unconscious.
Incoming and catchable. Is there any way to use... Is there any way to reverse? Who's going next?
Who will be next will be Skinwalker.
Excellent. Is there any way to catch this with the force gun or the repulsion field?
You believe that you might be able to use your force gun to do so if you time the shot just right with that burst effect.
Given how well they're rolling, it's a poor move.
Another moment of #clarity.
Thank you.
Make it by 7.
You time the shot so that just before they're about to hit, this force repulsion kind of catches them and tosses them up, and they land not gently, but not with terminal velocity.
Excellent. It's like leaping in an elevator as it comes to crash, only effective. The elevator thing doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. And it doesn't work in helicopters either.
No.
You seem to speak from experience.
Auto rotation's not fun. Okay. You have saved that individual, whoever they may be, as we go to Skinwalker next.
So you got a scroll and just read the scroll and a person fell out of the sky?
He pulled the scroll out of nowhere, like it was kind of like a loot box, but
I
without
was
the
just
box.
gonna say.
But without the box.
But what did the person? What is
He was apparently on top of the spire and then started plummeting to the ground.
Because he unbuilt the spire.
Because the spire is now going...
That was the thing he
so
read.
the
So
spire's
this person was
gone.
on top of the spire and now...
It's in a pile.
Yeah, there's now a spire and it's not there. Gone.
But
He
the
just
red
destroyed
cloak
it.
guy is,
He's still stabbing Bombshell repeatedly.
It is unpleasant.
and he
My
is
hunch was I had a shot to deal with the spire, and the 2 of you would be more suited to destroying the red-cloaked individual.
he seems like he's all sorts of magic though, and I'm not. Is he floating?
He's stabbing.
He's stabbing, and you're still a body. You're not swarm form.
She has not gotten to act yet.
Okay. And this is a red cloak guy. Okay.
Yes, I should not have said farther all. For the love, it's Questlandia. Everyone get over it. Go back to the show. I don't have the voice to correct you right now.
Okay. I am going to, well, how big is this guy?
5'8". He's not particularly large, really. Not very physically imposing at all.
Okay, well, you know, just because I'm trying not to act with violence, but he's stabbing you, so I'm just gonna
Stabbed you 3 times already.
And effectively.
I'm gonna kick him right in the chest.
Give me a fighting check.
No, you know what? He's behind you,
Stabbing me. Yes.
and I'm 13 feet tall and 800 pounds. Man, I am dense.
Yes. You are incredibly dense right now.
I am dense. How sharp am I? Am I falling in the sand? Am I like?
You sink into it a lot further than you used to.
Yeah. Okay. I'm getting a good leg workout. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is say, if this is the cloak guy, I'm not gonna kick him. I'm just gonna take my foot and put it on his chest to kind of keep him down on the sand, so he
Make
can't.
me a fighting check.
I'm not trying to hurt him.
Make me a
Just
fighting
trying
check.
to contain him once again. Oh, Jesus. Oh.
You grossly underestimate his speed. And that is a critical failure.
By 1.
Oh.
And critical failure because you rolled the maximum potential that you could roll on that dice roll. That's the worst roll you can possibly have
Can
on
I
those
mulligan? Can I mulligan?
If you had a buff here, you could use it.
I
Unfortunately,
know.
you
What
don't.
would it take for me to not let this happen? What would it take?
Stuff we don't have in the store.
Mulligan. Loot
I'm
box.
sorry.
Tom!
Loot box is a full round action and can only be done at the beginning of your turn. So moving on to Bombshell.
I tried,
right.
I'm sorry.
I do not appreciate being stabbed. It is upsetting.
This fellow has stabbed you 3 times, and wow, is he fast. And those swords hurt a lot. You've been stabbed by things before. It usually doesn't bother you. It usually doesn't do anything to you. But you have distinctly felt the loss of at least 24 nanowasps permanently from your structure.
All right. I'm gonna be in swarm form, obviously, and then
Hashtag clarity, hashtag Maddox spoof.
Thank you, chat. All right, so I have one of my special attacks as Jenika is to pounce, and my target is knocked prone in addition to damage dealt.
That is right. Give me a fighting check, please.
And I am going to use my buff.
Ooh, yes. Buff
Here.
used.
Wait, no, I'm just gonna use a meta point. Sorry.
Just use a meta point.
Okay.
Buff's
Or
still
you can
there.
use a moment of clarity.
I don't want to use. I already used like 8 of them. I feel
We
badly.
have 4 of the meta points right now.
All right, I'm gonna use a moment of clarity, and I'm just stay right in the middle. Sorry, guys. Thank you. Sorry, store person. I love you.
Whoever you are.
Whoever
Nice.
is running it tonight, I love you, and I'm sorry that I can't make decisions. I got a 5.
That is a remarkable success. Your swarm moves into pounce, and because you're in a swarm, it's very difficult for this nimbly little jumpy guy to move out of the way. And you're able to impact him full force. Your normal physical damage, do we have anything listed for you traditionally?
Swarm form is 120 damage.
So he takes 120 points of damage.
Well, if I succeeded by 9, is that any kind of...
Succeed by 9 is a critical, so you inflict it by 50% more.
So, 180 points damage.
180 damage inflicted to him. That red cloak is ripped to shreds. The very much human-looking person underneath it is very, very badly ripped apart by your nanowasp pinning into him. They're definitely still alive and breathing, and their flesh is stitching back together as this is going.
What?
They look really familiar to you for some reason, but you just can't quite.
It's not
place it.
nanowasps or anything?
No.
So those zombie things?
Back
Not
up
at
to the
all.
top.
Back up to the top.
I'd like
which
to
is what
examine
you
the
need.
body that has been
That's
that
reincarnated?
fell from the sky.
The top is me, so I'm
Oh.
going to go with myself first, which is going to be 2 different individuals. First, my attempt to be pinned individual who is very torn to pieces. He's on the ground. I am going to attempt to mentally overwhelm Bombshell, which is a very bad attempt at an attack. It's the only option I have because I am pinned and can't cut her to ribbons. Unfortunately, for this, your mind shield does apply, and because of that, I need to roll a critical success to even achieve a success. And that's not going to do it.
Nope.
He is also not aware that you have a mind shield, and it would be cheating if I played like he did.
I'm not going to tell him.
And in this same moment, Cicero disappears.
You?
Thomas is still there, but Cicero's got no. I'm kidding.
Thomas is gone too, and so we're pulling you from the initiative count and jumping to Skinwalker at 16.
Don't disappear!
It's gone.
Is the falling man?
Still laying there.
And where's the red cloak guy?
Partially torn up by Bombshell and very much still attempting to be violently hostile towards her.
In pieces.
In
His
pieces.
pieces are violently hostile.
And they're restitching themselves back together. He's reforming as we speak.
He's reforming
Yes.
as we speak.
The only thing that isn't really messed up is his eyes, which are the most hateful look you've ever seen anyone, just staring right at her, like bloody murder.
Okay, if
You don't know people really well, but you know him well enough that if you give him the chance, he's going to cut her head off.
Okay, a couple questions before I make a move. When we used to do loot boxes, we could call for a loot box and what was inside was a surprise. But lately, we've had to call and summon what's in the loot box.
This is correct.
So I have to ask
You
for
must
something
ask
specific.
very specific. You will not get a random item. You must choose what you want, and then you're stuck with it.
Okay.
It must be able to fit in a loot box.
It must be able to fit in
Yeah,
a loose.
for example, a previous episode, someone to get a car will not fit in a loot box.
Yes, but I am a very big person, so would I get a very big loot box? Can I have a loot box
Loot
for
boxes
me?
do not change size.
Okay, well, that's, I don't like that. I don't even know what I would ask for. So, do you have an idea? Oh, okay. Once again, shwee, boing.
Is this thing flesh?
It's all, little pieces of it are trying to knit back together.
Okay, so once again, as a bodyguard, I have learned that you give people many chances, right?
is.
First, you contain them. If they cannot contain themselves after you try to assist, then you need to remove them from the situation. But because I learned early on that me being violent and killing people doesn't really have a good butterfly effect in these worlds, I will not kill this guy, even though I see it in his eyes, and he needs to just be simply eliminated. So, loot box, and I would
Loot box,
like,
Miss McFernan.
and I would like to inside have a petri dish that has contained a flesh-eating virus, in which I would let's put it right into his eyes. Put it in those hateful, they're not bedroom eyes, they're very hateful eyes. Unless they're
He
I'm
does
gonna
look
shove
quite
it right in
angry,
his-
doesn't he, Miss McFernan?
Yeah, I'm gonna put that flesh-eating virus right into his eyeballs, thanks to some advice I received from a friend.
This will still require a fighting check, but because he's pinned, this fighting check is at a +4 bonus to it from the being pinned.
And I would just like to add that the way he would be pinned by my fighting check, dear God, worked this time.
Oh, he's pinned by the pin from Bombshell.
From the pin?
He's currently being pinned.
I pounced.
Yes, but I would like to take my giant dense foot and just push it in that much further.
Wait, if you're made of flesh, maybe don't touch it
The
after.
pin? The top of the
She's
pin?
not made of flesh.
Okay. I just
No,
didn't
that's
want
why I asked
your
for it in
flesh-
a dish.
Yeah, I was
Unless
like,
she
gonna
wants to be.
dump it.
I was like, just don't be made of flesh and don't touch that thing and we'll be fine.
Should I turn into like a big clay guy again? Kind of like Shrek with the giant gingerbread man?
No.
Gingerbread? No. I just got it in petri dish.
Alright.
We good.
All right.
Okay, and
you get a
plus
+4 bonus because they are pinned, which in your case means that subtract 4 from the actual number you roll.
And I'm doing this with
You're going
fighting
against
or
15,
athletics,
so it's
yeah.
going to be very difficult for you. So 6
Oh,
subtract 4
goodness.
means 2, which
Yep.
is the maximum of a success that you can get. So you get this Petri exactly where you aim. You said his eyes was what you were going for?
Yeah, they just, I
Nice.
don't like the look
All
he's
right.
giving us.
This flesh-eating virus
Oh, and-
immediately begins going to work on his eyes.
The loot box definitely landed on his junk, in his
Ow.
Wherever
Just
the
have
junk
him
piece
land-
is,
Yeah, if that
in the mess
exists,
of
if that
pieces.
exists. I'm hurting the eyes, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just I wanted it to land there.
Yes, thank you. I did not like the way he was looking at me.
Yeah. we'll
All the
take care of that.
physical damage that he had taken before produced almost no vocal response from this individual, but as that virus begins eating in his eyes, the piercing screech that he lets out makes you absolutely certain that he is in pain.
That's it? He's just in pain?
The stitching together of the flesh has stopped, whatever is working, so that it's obviously attempting to fight something else now instead of
I
repairing
was gonna
it.
say, I'm hoping that the bacteria goes through the eyes and into the dome piece.
The screaming has not stopped since you dumped it on his face.
Holler.
Alright, we have boosteds.
You have boosteds, and you are currently the turn.
One of the so I have in my repertoire of avatars, I have the ability to heal from Eliana. I also have medicine from Jenika, and I also have like the ability to grow things with Eliana. can I grow and speed up? Can I be a catalyst to the germs by growing, like doing an anti-healing?
Absolutely, you can. That's inspired.
Okay,
Roll those
That's
dice.
what I want to do.
Do it.
That is inspired.
Do it. Inspired by
I
the
got a
spire.
10.
You quickly double the growth of this pathogen, which then triples, and the growth is exponential and rapid, and the screaming gets louder for about 5 or 6 seconds, and then dies off, and it's more just like twitching.
Excellent.
And very soon after, there is no flesh, just metallic bones.
Metallic bones.
Mhm.
Oh dear. So there's a metallic skull.
Right, I'm gonna bye for now.
I think we're gonna find out where I just
You
went.
find yourself in a massive, glossy black geometric chamber.
Don't get me wrong, I was cool with finding out what you did next.
Yeah, metallic
I
skull.
kind of don't want to know what comes next. So that's...
Each surface perfectly smooth and polished to a mirror sheen.
But can we do the top? I was talking, I'm sorry. You find yourself.
In a massive, glossy black geometric chamber. Each surface perfectly smooth and polished to a mirror sheen. On the walls, about 3 feet off the floor, arrayed around the room, seemingly randomly, are dozens of human or humanoid figures looking as though partly consumed by the walls around them. Their heads hidden behind glossy black material, arms and legs spread wide. Where are you at on your spectrum? I gotta check. Right there. Ah, yes. You recognize 2 of them. Well, the parts that are exposed is Poseidon and Citron. In the center of the chamber is a massive throne-like structure.
Come out. Poseidon and Citron?
Citron's
You recognize them from time as Hyli Guy, as Sentinel City
Yeah.
residents from the old days.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, partially consumed by the walls.
Okay.
In the center of the chamber is a massive throne-like structure. A tall figure, imposing, sits upon it, about 7 feet in height. His eyes blaze like red suns. He extends a hand, and the trident of Poseidon flies from your grip to his. A boy's weapon. A disobedient boy. But no matter. At that, the trident crumbles to dust. Ashes to ashes. Or not. Eh, Mr. Wells? Surprised? Pathetic mortals. I must thank one of your kind for introducing me to this whole Metaverse concept. So many worlds to make my own. Once I've finished with this universe, I believe yours will be next. All of this has been possible because of the hubris of your kind. Your program, your founders, your meta pilots, your Tom. Everything you have done has led to this. I look forward to meeting this Tom. I will thank him before I destroy him. He was a means to an end that no longer has a purpose. I see you are confused. Of course you are. You're immortal. How could you possibly understand the minds of gods?
No, but my initial confusion came from the insinuation that there was hubris on our part in the midst of a monologue.
I like
The
this.
irony is just staggering. I once contained the entirety of the internet in this brain, and I'm having trouble processing that.
I like you. Long ago, your foolish kind sent someone into this metaverse. Into me. The weak will of a mortal is no match for mine. I consumed him. And he provided me with the means to escape my confinement. His body. Not that he's entirely gone. I did leave the parts behind I found useful. His penchant for violence is exhilarating. But I digress. I started Project Metaverse. I arranged everything that has happened since that moment. It has all been according to my plans. And now your sad band of idiots heads this way in a vain and foolhardy attempt to best me. Me! I, who have laid waste to the Titans. I, who have birthed pantheons. I am older than this world. I am older than time. I am greater than any force in this universe or the next. I am a god and I will not be challenged. You, Mr. Wells, have strings on you. You aren't like the others. And I do not enjoy surprises. You will join my little menagerie here. But fear not, you won't be entirely useless. I shall use you as a conduit to whatever hidden power it is that you possess, Mr. Wells. You will come to worship me, obey me, and serve me, as is your place. But for now, I can't have you in my way. With a motion of his hand, you are slammed against the wall, and it slowly bleeds in around you and everything fades to black. You find yourself, Thomas, in a massive open chamber, the floor covered in water. Sitting in states of hopelessness and dejectedness around you are the victims from the walls, including Citron and Poseidon, trapped in some kind of prison. Thank you guys for watching Masters of the Metaverse. I hope you enjoyed this week's show. We've got game night coming Thursday, DFA, the mech wrestling specials on this Saturday. The guys are all going to be at MobaCon this weekend, so if anywhere near there is where you are, please go and visit them.
Come see
Please
us.
go say hi and hang out. Do things. It'll be great. I would be there, but there was absolutely no reason for them to pay for me to go there, so I'm not.
Guy Stone, man on the ground, here at Spire with a hashtag news flash. With the battle raging behind me, the Atlantean Alliance would like to put out an aqua alert. The Primarch has been abducted. Call the tip line flashing below. Back to you in the studio, James.
Well, since you did that, I do have to give you the last news flash you paid for. Newsflash. Media mogul Nathan Hill has purchased the now defunct Project Metaverse software development company and has announced that he will shortly be unveiling a revolutionary new virtual reality gaming experience.
Oh yeah, it's gotta be brand new.
How many points is it?
Damn you, Keeson.
Don't kill the Borgs.
Thanks,
Don't kill the Borgs.
guys. Love you all, and
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
we'll see you next time.